that stuff. Like I do, that's cool. But when I'm watching on TV, it's not the same energy, right? It just doesn't translate the same as maybe a World Series game or, whatever, a final. So I hope now maybe it's come to Toronto at some point. That'd be neat to be there.
That's what Manfred was saying.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think like it was here in the early 90s when the Dome opened. And I remember as a kid, like there was a lot of buzz, and the Jays were huge at that point. And obviously the Sky Dome was, the eighth wonder of the world at that point. And I guess it's going to return to Chicago. It's going to go. The Cubs are going to have it. I think is it next year in 27? I believe the Cubs are getting it, and they haven't had it in a long time. But then the Jays would be next up. And if you pump money into your stadium the way Rogers just did and the Blue Jays did, the All-Star game is coming. And I agree with your comments there, Strud. Like, it would mean so much more to be in the park to see also the actions of all the guys, like the superstar players who were not partaking in the event, who are still there and kind of supporting everyone, and they all have got different allegiances. And I think I get it. I'm an old guy now, and it's cynical and yelling at the clouds. But like the home run derby and the slam dunk contest, that was everything when you were a kid, and now they've both completely fallen off a cliff. Like Mac McClung, can he get a bat and go and start hitting home runs? But the guy's not even in the NBA. Why is he in the slam dunk contest?
And what's amazing is I think he jumped over the car last year for the second year in a row, or like jumped over something.
We get it. You jump over cars.
Whatever.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, move on, please.
Do you guys like any events in All-Star games? Like, I still like the 3-point contest.
Yeah, 3-point.
3-point is quality because you can't really screw that up. Yeah. It's the same. What they're doing today is what Larry Bird was doing, 35 years ago for the most part. It really comes down to star power, I guess, more than anything else. And last night, like Cal Raleigh is a star now, but he was not a household name.
He's not
in years past.
Still,
you don't think he is?
If you ask 100 people who watch baseball if they know who he is, 95, I bet, don't.
95 people don't know who he is.
If you ask, if you
watch baseball,
if I walk down Yonge Street and I just said, "Do you watch baseball?"
That's a different story. Walking down Yonge Street is not a perfect science. But you're saying like people that enjoy the game. If you are a baseball fan and you don't know who this guy is, you're not a baseball fan.
Maybe you're a casual baseball fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But most casual players, like my kids, are pretty into sports. They didn't know who it was. They were sitting there watching, like, who is this guy? I'm like, well, he's a baseball player. And, baseball, we kind of follow the Blue Jays. We're not, my kids aren't wildly watching, but they do, the TikTok or whatever they're watching. They should know of these type of players. They didn't know. Whereas in basketball, hockey, and football, they would know those three guys. That level of athlete, like the upcoming guy, they know him more than Raleigh.
I think that makes sense. And there were a lot of young guys, in the home run derby last night that would not be household names. Like young guys,
any of them,
trying to make it. But that, I think, it speaks to the fall off. Like if that's Judge and Ohtani in that last night, it is must see. You've got to watch it. The two of them are going at it. And we say the same thing in the dunk contest all the time. Like LeBron ruined that. Because there was a time when if you were a superstar that could jump the way he jumps, you have to go in the home run in the slam dunk contest.
Was he ever in it? I can't
Never been
remember.
in it.
I didn't think so.
And it's like Jordan was in it. Like Vince was
Dominic
in it. Wilkins was in it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Spud Webb was in it. Like all these guys that were like famous. And LeBron is not known necessarily as a dunker, but he is a supreme athlete and the face of the league. When he didn't go in it, then it just slowly filtered off where guys are like, I'm not going in this. It's Aaron Gordon, it's Josh Smith that was going in it. Guys like that who great dunkers, but you need the star power with it to make the event pop. And I think that was an issue last night I had with the home run derby is it's just not guys that I'm overly interested in watching in the spotlight because I don't know enough about them. A home run is a home run. Like it's still you're mashing and it's great, but you need the kind of build up, not necessarily rivalry, but you need some theater.
Is that the best nickname in sports? Do you think? Do you know his nickname?
The Big Dumper?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's not bad.
Is it good though? Where's it coming? Like I'm not sure that's the most flattering nickname. Like the big unit or the big hurt, but the big dumper. Does that just mean big ass?
That's historically what I always thought the kind of answer was.
Does he have a big ass? Like I couldn't tell. I don't.
I couldn't really pick up on that either. What's the genesis of that?
I don't know. I haven't done my research on that.
But I guess once a nickname sticks, Right, Strud? There's no getting away from it, man. When the boys start calling you something, that's what you're going to be called.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's really the handle I'd want. Like, yeah, he's a pretty awesome player. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not saying it would bother me, but like, I'm hammering home runs all over the place. The best one you get is a big dumper. Like, guys, let's get together here. Let's spitball a few ideas. On this plane ride.
Yeah, exactly. We're flying, coast to coast here from Seattle to Atlanta. Yeah. Let's come up with something else, right? Well, we got 4 or 5 hours. Let's see if we can come up with something else. But again, as much as I'm complaining about the lack of star power in the home run derby last night, I think there's going to be a sense of nostalgia for the All-Star game tonight because, again, you're looking at it through the lens of when you're 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, and growing up, in Toronto, and it was always through the lens of okay, which Blue Jay is going to make it and who's going to have an impact. But I do think interleague play has had a big effect on the All-Star game in terms of the lack of hype because everyone faces everyone now. Like, remember when we were kids, that was a big part of it. Like, Jack Morris was going to face somebody in the National League or, some big National League pitcher is finally going to face an American League bat. The Yankees and Dodgers are going to face off because they never do. Now, literally, you play every team in the league every single year. So, generally speaking, there's going to be matchups that you've either seen or you're going to see at some point. But I do think Skeens versus Judge tonight has that kind of aura to it. And I think Skubal against Ohtani is similar. It's not quite as much, but like Skubal is the man right now, I would say, period. Like, as great as Skeens is, I think Skubal winning the Cy Young last year and the Tigers being the top team in the American League and what he represents, I think that's the buildup we're looking for tonight. And I think that's the whole game for me. Like, I don't care who wins and loses. I'd like to see Vladdy do well. Kirk will get in there off the bench. I'm sure he'll do well. But give me Skeens versus Judge tonight. Give me Skubal versus Ohtani, and I'm happy. That's what I want.
Do you guys remember that World Baseball Classic when it was Judge, or no, it was Ohtani against
Mike Trout? And they were teammates.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And it was it was cool. 2 outs in the 9th.
Yeah.
And I think it was a 3-2 ball game or whatever. Like, you can't script anything better than that. And that was meaningful. Like, tonight, Skeens is going to face Judge in the first inning and
then he's done.
Whatever. Yeah, he's not going to see him twice. But still, I can recall as a kid, or even not even as a kid, like I remember when like Halladay would be in the All-Star game. You're like, all right, he's going to face Pujols tonight. I got to see this. I got to see this because I need a horse, like a pitcher that has that aura, and it's not as prevalent in the game anymore. Like the 230, 240 inning guy who's just mean and nasty and throws heat and he knows going deep. That guy doesn't really exist anymore, but Skeens feels like he's kind of bringing it back. Like he's got that kind of Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens swag to him.
The big unit.
The big unit. Yeah. There's another guy. When Johnson would face somebody, you're like, I got to see this guy. I got to see what he's got.
Yeah.
And that's why I think there's still magic in the All-Star game in Major League Baseball.
Well, for me, guys, that my first memory of the All-Star game was when my dad showed me a little bit. I wasn't exactly, functioning at that point, but when Pete Rose ran over the catcher. Like, to me, I don't know, we'll never see a moment like that again. To do that in any level of All-Star game, I know that he wanted to win, and he's talked about it before. He spoke about it. But I just, like, to me, that is it's an All-Star game. You have a dart hanging out of your mouth waiting to catch the ball at home plate, and someone plows you over. And you're like, what the hell just happened?
Did he? I don't know.
Leg,
did he bet on that game? Do we?
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe.
He must have got to get home.
He bet. He had
to run.
I'll do it myself.
Exactly. He had a stretcher prop. Will we see someone on a stretcher tonight?
We'll do it.
Plus 2,000, and Pete Rose is. I'm hammering that. Like that. Isn't it amazing that that's a completely legitimate question? Did he bet on that game?
Yeah.
And the answer has got to be
maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Like, there's a good chance Pete had some action on that.
But can I ask you guys, like, do you, Struddy? I don't know if has Edmonton gotten an NHL All-Star game in any recent memory? I don't remember.
No, I don't remember. I think the last time was probably when, the 80s. I'm just guessing. I don't ever remember it being here. There's talk about it coming here now because, the ice joystick is at or nearing completion. But no, I don't remember it in my adult life being here.
Yeah, which is surprising with the new
it's nice.
stadium. Like, if you build a new rink.
But I was just going to ask you guys, like, do you care when it comes to your city? Like,
I was here in Toronto last year.
I know, and like I didn't, I covered it, so maybe it's different. But like, I don't really.
Here's where I found it. I found it certainly more interesting, simply anecdotally, because I knew people that were going down, and we did a show downtown, and that was cool, and we had people come by the show, and there's an energy in the city.
The Biebs was there.
Yeah, exactly.
The Biebs on the show.
Like I didn't care about the game anymore. Like it made no difference to me who won because it was in Toronto, but I do think it stood out clearly more than any other All-Star game for me, because it was in the city, and I know where the events are taking place, and I know people that are going down, and it creates some sort of energy
like
that
buzz
generally isn't there. Yeah, I mean, if the game's in St. Louis, there's no energy in Toronto or in Edmonton or whatever, but the game's in your hometown. That's why I think it's going to stick around. Yeah, I think people realize that. And I think the big corporations within the individual markets, they love hosting the events and having the stars roll through town. And, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's for the local people, the local community, the kids, and then the sponsors in that community or whoever wants to come. I feel the same way about the outdoor games. I don't like watching outdoor games on TV. I'm sorry. To me, I don't.
Suck.
It doesn't get me very excited. Now, when it came here to Edmonton a couple of years ago, I went and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It's fun. There's atmosphere. There's a buzz. But I'm not picking up that buzz from Carolina when I'm sitting here in my house in Edmonton. I'm sorry. You're just not getting the buzz. So I think it's for the local market more than the wider audience. And I feel both the same way for the All-Star game and that, Jonas, both those two events.
I think you're right. I think the outdoor game's a great example of that. Like when they first started hosting them, I was definitely intrigued early on, and it looked cool. And they've been to Wrigley like 5 times and Fenway 6 times. It's like I don't need to see that anymore. That was cool when they first did it, and when we went to the big house, and I was there at BMO in 2016. That was a really cool event. Like that was a really cool outdoor event. Leafs won in overtime. Matthews scored in overtime. It was actually an incredible game. Like it was a fun game, and. But you're right, Strud. Like now you see it, it's like Anaheim, LA in California. Like why do I care about that? There's just no way you can sell markets on it unless it's your own market. I don't think you can do it.
Out of market, it's irrelevant. But in the market, I think that's important. And I think it's important for every market to experience that so they can stay there. You rotate it around.
I agree. And Ryan's saying that the last time the Oilers hosted the All-Star game was 1989.
Wow.
Yeah.
That feels like a Gretzky's out. We'll give you the All-Star game move.
They have the best player.
There's a conspiracy theory.
They have the best player in hockey.
In 89?
No, right now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure they were waiting for some of the area to be completed. I think we're getting there. I was down there, had my tool belt on, finishing up a few projects.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully that'll speed it up, and we'll get it here in a couple of years.
Yeah, get it here in a couple of years.
The good thing with the MLB All-Star game is like there's literally nothing else on. Like literally, right?
Oh yeah, tonight
there's nothing.
Tonight's
it's a wasteland.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. This is where the NHL or the NBA, both who have had a very lackluster offseason in terms of creating news.
Yeah.
Like the NBA in particular, it has been horrendous for them. Based on their standards where it's generally so crazy and there's so much player movement, there's big trades, there's been nothing of substance happening in the NBA. And I would argue the NHL is not far behind. I mean, there was some stuff leading up to free agency. There's been some minor contract conversations. But tonight's where you need a McDavid extension, Strud. Like tonight's the night. Right, just completely blow past the All-Star game and have McDavid take over the sports scene tonight. I think that'd be a brilliant play. I think it'd be a great PR move. If I'm the Oilers, I'm like, tonight's the night, man. We need you to sign an extension tonight, or we're trading you.
5 p.m. press conference.
What's the over under August 1st, before or after?
I'm guessing after. No one really seems in a rush here. I believe it'll get completed. I don't know how long it'll be, but I don't sense there's a real rush on it. And the Oilers have been pretty busy, right? They just finalized their coaching staff, retooled it, I suppose, with so many people leaving. So now I think now they can get to that. They also have to get Knobloch ahead a new deal. So I think that it's on the things to do list. And even for Connor, like you got to kind of decompress after a pretty busy season, 2 big seasons actually.
Yeah. Well, listen, McDavid, they're going to go on his timeline. He's going to let them know what he's looking for and what he's comfortable with. Like, I don't think the negotiation is overly difficult.
It's like not a negotiation. It's like, this is what I want.
Yeah,
it's like,
basically, like if he wants 4 years at $16 million per, then that's what he's getting.
Yeah.
You know, he's not haggling over a no movement clause or anything like that. Like, it's, you know, the Oilers, I'm sure, are saying, take your time, let us know what you're thinking, and we'll figure it out. Because the Oilers obviously want to make it work, and I'm sure McDavid wants to make it work, and there shouldn't be any rush. But
what's interesting is we haven't seen any of those big 2026 guys sign.
Yeah, there's been no extensions, which is it's a good point because
I don't know, it's just
like Kaprizov's up, Eichel's up.
Yeah, Connor.
Kyle Connor in Winnipeg. That's right. Obviously, McDavid's up, and there's even other guys who are not superstars but are capable of signing extensions. And with the way that the NHL just operated, the way they just showed their cards, like, we're going to try to keep our own guys, and we have enough money to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more extensions from more middle-of-the-pack players, like a year out, which has not been the nature of the sport in the past.
Do you think more guys will actually want to test free agency, like Marner?
I don't know, man. Like, we didn't see that this year. Like, he was the outlier.
Well,
all
he
three
didn't
guys
even
went
actually
back
go
to
free
Florida.
agency, right?
Well, I know, but he picked his spot, and they worked out a deal, and he wanted 8 years, and...
But I wonder if like more stars are just going to like look at it and be like, you know what, I'm going to go market, see what I can get, maybe take a shorter I don't know.
But that didn't happen. Like, you know, Sam Bennett could have done that. He didn't. John Tavares could have done that. He didn't. You know, like who else left that was a big
the free
name?
agent class kind of went wow.
Right, but that would, to me, would speak to more opportunity. Like if there's no one else, like if you were a big free agent, if you were Marner. Now it sounds like Marner just wanted to go to Vegas. Like, that's just what it was. I'm going to Vegas, and I'm going to work off their deal. And Vegas clearly, it would appear, basically said, if Rantanen's getting 12 in Dallas, that's what you're getting, and he just accepted that. But I would think if he made it to the market and actually said, I'll simply go to the highest bidder, like he would have got more money, he would have got a higher cap hit, and there would have been a lot more teams, you know, kicking tires on him. I don't know. I'd like to see that happen next year with someone, like 2 or 3 guys of substance make it to July 1st just to see where it ends up. You know, and I don't know who those players are going to be, but it does have the potential for that next year because there's a lot of really good players that need contracts.
When I look at Mikko Rantanen, that's the guy I thought that might go to free agency. Like, did he really, like, Dallas is a good spot, don't get me wrong, but is that really the spot he wanted to go to? You know, if Marner truly, Vegas, I get it. And again, I'm not crapping on Dallas here, but I think he could have gone anywhere. He could have looked around. You know, obviously he said no to Carolina, that's clear.
Could have come here.
Looked at, well, yeah, that was maybe another missed opportunity. But do you know what I mean, guys? I'm like, I always felt when I was going to free agency and I wasn't at those level or friends of mine, I'd be like, if you like where you're at, just stay. And if not, don't just pick another place to sign there. Like, here's a case in point. Bo Horvat. Is he happy that he's in from Vancouver to Long Island? Now, both teams have been, I guess, middling, although Vancouver was pretty good last year. But Jonas, like, why would you sign with the Islanders? Like, what got you so
You're right.
excited?
He got traded there, and then he's just like, I'll just sign. It's like, okay.
It's to me, it almost looked like he's like, I'll show Vancouver by signing with these people. Well, what do you just signed your life away with the Islanders?
Yeah.
A team that, to me, even then, how could you say this team's going up? Dallas Stars, yeah, I can see it. They're a good team. They've got some different range of age of players, some good players, goalie, all that stuff. But I look at Bo Horvat, I think, why? Why would you do that?
Well, here's the flip side of that is imagine Jonathan Huberdeau said, actually, I'll play this 1 year out in Calgary. That guy's on a PTO right now.
He had a good year last year.
I know. Maybe not a PTO, but he's not getting 10.5.
10.5.
Like 10.5 on a long-term deal. And everything you're saying about Bo Horvat and the Islanders, you could clearly say about the Calgary Flames right now. Like, they're not a contending team, and I don't think they will be for the next 2 or 3 years. Thank God he signed. Like, if you're Huberdeau, you're like, thankfully I took that deal, and I didn't spend a second in Calgary before I decided
a really
to
good
sign.
point. Just take the money.
Well, I mean, it can go both ways, you know, because you're not wrong, Strud. Like, they're both avenues. There's positives and there's negatives and pros and cons. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens here with the NBA and the NHL. Like if we're going to see the fireworks that everyone wants to see at some point, like because we kept hearing, rumors and reports again from people connected, insiders. Going to be a lot of trades. Trades are coming. Well, when are they coming? When's that going to happen?
There was Durant.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
yeah, that was a crazy trade.
But Durant's even lost, like, he's not who he was back in the day.
Career.
But even in the NHL, like, Bowen Byram just signed a 2-year extension in Buffalo. I presume that means he's going to stay as a Sabre.
Remember it was going to be the summer of the offer sheet again?
Yeah, offer sheets are coming. Nothing's happened.
Actually, no.
Like nothing's happened. So, yeah, maybe we just need a McDavid.
I like that they're shortening the contracts, though, for the new CBA.
Right.
So it's going to go from 7 to 6 and 8 to 7?
Yeah, if you stay with your own team, it'll be 7 now, and if you leave, it'll be 6.
Better.
It's inching towards
fun,
a little bit more activity and possible turnover. But yeah, there hasn't been a lot of it, and that's why the Marner scenario was so unique. Not only the market he left and the market that he went to, and someone actually sent me a picture today of him skating. He's still in the GTA. Decked out in Gold Knights gear. And it's a weird look,
What do you do? Maybe you can answer this, Jody. What do you do with, like, your old team stuff?
Well, that's a pretty big question because with Marner and Toronto, like, that was his team.
Right.
So I'm guessing you keep some, like, because you get a new bag, obviously, and all that new gear. So I think you just pack all your Toronto stuff up and just put it at the back of the garage and maybe revisit it at some point. It's not like you go down to the plate again. Sporting place and just chuck it in there and say, I'm never wearing this again. Like, I think, like, I still have stuff when I play to various teams. I just kind of pull it out for different events or whatever.
Well, because I asked, like, before July 1st, Brad Treliving did an availability at their practice facility, and everybody's gear, including Marner's, was still at their stalls. Mm-hmm. I was like, I wonder what's going to happen to his stuff. Like, are they just going to, like...
Did they keep it? Did they have ownership over it all?
So.
Like, I don't know.
Well, because he would have taken some gear home already, right?
Right.
He took his game gear. Then that's the practice gear. Then the practice gear, they'll take it off, and then at the training camp, they'll give it to a tryout guy to wear, right, for tryout. Mitch Marner gloves. I remember I used to have, like, whoever's gloves at training camp. Like, well, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look like I'm making the team if I'm using someone else's gloves.
Some guy from like, here's Charlie Huddy's gloves.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
doesn't
this
look
good. It's
You're
not even modern.
It in the minors.
Yeah, like some guy from the '60s that played. I'm like, I'm in big trouble here, man. If I'm using this guy's gear. But yeah, it was kind of like a whoa moment for me. Like, someone sent me the pic, and I'm like, man, that's. Got weird. The 93 and because, like, Vegas is loud too, like, it's loud gloves and loud everything, and that's going to be something to see him every single day. That's what he's wearing, likely for the rest of his career. All right, the Open Championship starting on Thursday. Steve Sands coming up, our buddy from NBC and the Golf Channel, get his take on what he sees coming this week. And Scotty Scheffler, he got deep today, Scotty, on whether he's satisfied with golf, what's the point of winning? It was a wild presser. So we'll play a little bit of that. We'll get into it with Sandsy. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, coverage of the 153rd Open from Royal Portrush on Overdrive, brought to you by Subaru. Head to your local Subaru dealer for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. See dealer for details. Steve Sands coming up from Royal Portrush in just a moment, our friend from the Golf Channel and NBC. But Scotty Scheffler, he was up at the podium speaking for 5-6 minutes. Very existential stuff.
I loved it.
Like, very deep. We've basically montaged and cut this down to about a minute and a half. All right, here's a taste of what Scotty Scheffler was saying earlier today.
To win the Byron Nelson Championship at home, I literally worked my entire life to become good at golf, to have an opportunity to win that tournament. And you win it, you celebrate, get to hug my family, my sister's there. It's such an amazing moment. And then it's like, okay, now what are we going to eat for dinner? You know, life goes on. Showing up at the Masters every year, it's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly? I don't know. Because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week, and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? And it's just like, we're back here again, you know? So we really do. We work so hard for such little moments, and you know, I'm kind of a sicko. I love putting in the work. I love being able to practice. I love getting out to live out my dreams. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just don't understand the point, you know, because I don't know if I'm making any sense or not, but am I not? It's just one of those deals, you know. I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life, but does it fill the deepest, you know, wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not. I'm blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life, or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, you know, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living. You know, this is not the be-all, end-all. This is not the most important thing in my life, and that's why I wrestle with, why is this so important to me? Because, you know, I would much rather be a great father than I would be a great golfer.
That's some heavy stuff. That is some heavy stuff. I can't picture Tiger Woods ever saying something like that or feeling that way ever. Here's our good friend Steve Sands from NBC and the Golf Channel, live from the Open Championship. Sandsy, you've had a few hours to kind of chew on that, what Scheffler was saying today. What do you think he was trying to get across, and what do you make of his stance on all that?
More importantly, I came from Tahoe last week, the celebrity event.
Yeah.
If I have to hear "We are the champions again" whenever Matthew Tkachuk stands up to the tee, it's going to make me puke.
Thank you. Good.
I mean, just make me puke.
I agree.
I walked up to him on Saturday. I said, "Enough already." He goes, "Okay, Caps boy." Oh, my God. How can they win 2 in a row?
No kidding. And they might win a third in a row. That's what's scary, Steve. They're the best team in the league by a mile.
I was talking to him. Not only I was talking about that. Not only are they the best team in the league, fellas. That Maurice can coach, man.
Yeah,
he's got it figured out. He's got it all down. They got it all going on. They've got another year or two window here to win another one. It's nuts.
Big time.
But anyway, you know, Scotty's a fascinating guy. Scotty, I think I've said this to you guys before on the air or off, whichever way. I don't think I've ever been around a professional athlete in any sport in all the years I've been doing this who cares less about being a star and only cares about winning. You know, stardom comes with winning in all sports. And he just has no interest in anything other than just playing golf and hanging out with his family. And that's it. That's who Scotty is. Everybody wants him to be a fist pump guy running around going crazy, kind of that Tiger era energy. That's just not him, man. He is all business all the time.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. You know, I think what he says about his family and all that, I think a lot of people would feel the same way, but he's expressing it. And yet he's the number one player in the world. He wins all the time. It's just it's a crazy kind of mentality.
Do you remember the Anthony Rendon thing that he said?
Yeah, but that was so nonchalant. Like, Rendon was like, I don't want to play anymore. Like, I don't think that's what Scotty's saying, right, Stanzi? Like, he wants to play. He loves to play. It just, in a weird way, it's like not fulfilling for him, which is kind of a crazy thing to say, because I'm sure other players are like, well, I'll take your spot then. I'll be number one in the world, win tournaments, be worth all this money. I'm sure I would find it fulfilling. kind of crazy that he's basically saying I'm never going to be satisfied with golf. It's just a wild kind of way to put it.
A couple things about it. One is, as a diehard Nationals fan, I am indebted forever to Anthony Rendon for helping us win the World Series in 2019. But let's not put Anthony Rendon in the same sentence, even the same paragraph as Scotty Scheffler. He's a nice player, but he's not Scotty Scheffler. Here's the thing about Scotty. I'm not a deeply religious person at all. We weren't born and raised that way in our house. I have no problem with people who are religious. I'm just not a religious guy. Mm-hmm. He has deep faith, and it's not fake. And he's not someone who wears it on his sleeve too often. And I like that. I like that he keeps it to himself and it only comes out every once in a while. He's not trying to profess it onto people all the time, which I think is a cool thing that he does, because he sincerely has a deep, deep faith. He's been with Meredith forever, like literally forever. And his family and God are the two biggest things in his life. He just happens to be an amazing golfer, an all-time golfer, best player in the world right now. And I don't even think it's close. Not saying he's going to win this week, but I think he's the best player in the world, not even close. And it's third on his list. Again, name me another professional athlete who is the best. I'm talking the Gretzky, Connor McDavid, LeBron, Michael Jordan, all go down the line, Tom Brady, go down the line of all the sports that we all know and love and enjoy, Roger Federer and all these guys, Novak Djokovic. The tennis, the golf, the horse racing, the hockey, whatever sport it is, it always comes first when you're the best, because you've got to be selfish at some point to get to that level. It's such rarefied air. And Scotty is not like that. He never has been, and I don't think he ever will be. He is satisfied being a great golfer and playing great and winning championships. But what really makes him tick is his family and his faith. And that's just something that people are going to have to understand here for the next couple of decades if Scotty keeps this up.
Steve, I heard it a little bit differently. What I heard from him is that he's constantly trying to win every week. And once he wins, you enjoy it for 5 minutes, and then you move on, because you've got to prepare again to defend your level of play or defend whoever's coming at you. So I heard more like kind of what's it, because I think he used the words, what's the point? He's just like, it just never ends. It'll never end. And I wonder if maybe he's not finding that a bit hard, because you're not just done. You don't climb Everest and you're done. You have to climb an Everest every single week, because there's people chasing you, and there's never that chance you're not done. You're just never done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, look, I heard it the same exact way. I guess I'm interpreting it differently, but I heard it the same way you did. Okay. But let's put it in, like you guys mentioned before I came on, you said you wouldn't hear Tiger Woods say that. Right. Tiger Woods was singularly focused on, and forget all the off-course stuff. I'm not talking about that. He was singularly focused on being the best player on the planet. That's really, truly all he ever wanted to do and be. Michael Jordan, same exact way. That's how these guys are wired. There's a big difference between being the greatest and being great. There's nothing wrong with being great. But to be the greatest, there's just an extra gear there. And I know Scotty has that gear. He just doesn't articulate it very often. And when he wins, he truly is like, okay, I'm going to go home. I'm going to kiss my wife, kiss my baby. I'm going to have a beer. We'll celebrate a little bit, and then I'll be back on the range Monday morning. And that's just the way he is. And he is never satisfied. Maybe it's because of the nature of this sport, and you guys know it well, that there's no perfection in this sport. There's no crazy run in this sport that can make you think, I've got it. And look at the motivation factor of McIlroy after winning. It's only human nature after winning the career Grand Slam, and that was your goal your whole life, to have a little bit of a dip in your game. And that's human nature. I don't think Scotty's like that. I think Scotty's just so steady and so great at what he does, and is so satisfied with his life off the golf course. It's been that way for a long time. He's a young man, guys. He's not like 45, 48 years old, and he's just getting cranked up here. And everything about his life is in order, and that allows him to go be great on the golf course. It's not the other way around for him. The other stuff is more important to him than the golf, because that stuff allows him to be great in golf.
So, Steve, is that what you think happened to Rory after winning the Masters? And now do you think maybe it rounds back up for him this week?
Yeah, I think there's no question about it. There were two ways of looking at Rory's win. I think when we were all together in Toronto at the RBC Canadian Open, we were chatting about this. There's two ways to look at Rory's Masters win. He wanted to be a career Grand Slam champion his whole life. It took him 11 tries to get it. And it only can be a natural. He's a nice guy, well-read, smart guy, has a life outside of golf. It's only natural to take your foot off the gas just a little bit. I mean, my gosh, nobody can be that singularly focused unless you're just insane. And some guys are, and Rory was not. So I think he took a natural dip, and then he did something really big. A couple of weeks ago, he just said, I'm going home. He came over here to Europe, where he and his wife, Erica, have built a really nice house outside of Wentworth near London. And they just got away from everybody, got away from everything, including golf, by the way. And it kind of recharged his battery and also kind of made him miss it a little bit. So then he comes last week to the Genesis Scottish Open, had a chance to win, ends up tied for second. And now he comes in here with some momentum at a golf course. He's, shot 61 here when he was a teenager. Grew up less than an hour from here in Hollywood, Northern Ireland. And, this thing means a lot to him. And I think he's in a much better headspace this week than he was at the PGA, certainly at Quail Hollow and the U.S. Open at Oakmont as well. I think he's raring to go.
With Steve Sands, and I would think if he finds a way to win this, it's certainly the most memorable season of his career. And it won't match like Tiger in 2000, but does it launch him in to contention for like the second best season of the last 25 years?
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, there are only 6 guys who have ever won the career Grand Slam. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when you bookend a season with major championships, the first major being the Masters, the last major is this week, the Open Championship. I mean, if he wins this week in his home country, down the road from where he grew up, after winning the career Grand Slam and then having this big dip, for a month or two. It's not a huge dip, but it was a dip for him. This would be a massive, massive season for Rory. It already is a massive season for him by winning the career Grand Slam and winning the Masters. But if he caps it off this week, that would be an outrageous season. You just don't see guys, although Xander Schauffele won 2 majors last year. He won the PGA Championship at Valhalla, and then he won at Royal Troon. He's the defending champion this week at the Open Championship. So winning 2 majors in a season is astonishing to begin with. Winning the career Grand Slam and then adding another major championship to your resume. That would be 6, by the way. He's at 5. You start getting into 6, you're talking about Mickelson, top 10 player of all time, Nick Faldo, top 25 player of all time, Lee Trevino. You're talking about some serious company if he can get to 6 and beyond. I'm not saying that there are a lot of people who've won 5, but if you get to 6 and beyond, you're talking serious, serious company in this sport.
Yeah, big time, man. And including you won at Pebble, you won the Players. You win the Players, the Masters, and the Open. Yeah, it's like, man, we're just a monster season for Rory McIlroy.
By the way, he's the only guy who's ever won a FedEx Cup 3 times, and the FedEx Cup has only been around since 2007. But like the Players, it's become one of those things that's on the resume.
Yep.
He's got 5 majors, 2 Players, and 3 FedEx Cup. Like that's the way it's starting to work in golf now. And if he plays well this week, there are only 2 events left before the FedEx Cup playoffs next month, Minnesota and then Greensboro. And, he could very well win this week and then also win the FedEx Cup, which, he had 2 majors and a Players and a FedEx Cup. I mean, my gosh.
That's an unbelievable year.
It would be an incredible season.
Yeah, an incredible season. Sandsy, enjoy yourself over there. It's going to be a blast, man. You guys crushing it like always. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great, great tournament, and we love having you on, and we'll do it again soon. Thank you for this.
You guys are the best. Anytime, fellas.
There he is, Steve Sands, NBC and the Golf Channel. The final major of the year at Royal Portrush. And, yeah, I think the McIlroy story would be certainly the most interesting story, like the biggest pop if he goes after winning the Masters, having this dip that was pretty wild, and then he returns to form and wins, in his home country. That'd be incredible. Scheffler getting his second of the year, that would be big. And then beyond that, for us, it's like, will a Canadian contend? I think there's 4 of them in the tournament. And we'll see. Will any of the live players show up? Does John Rahm show up? Does Cam Smith, who won the tournament a few years ago at St. Andrews, show up? A lot of different compelling storylines.
I wonder if more players don't feel how he actually feels. Scheffler. Yeah, like I don't know. Like you get to the mountaintop and it's like, this was it, and then it's like I think of Kevin Durant when he won with Golden State, where I think he thought he would. I mean, who knows how he feels, but like that it would feel different. It would cement something in his career, and it was like didn't, and maybe because it wasn't his team and all that stuff. But I bet that's probably more common. It's like this was it. Especially in golf. Like, it's not like with the Cup where, like, it's like a party for a month.
Mm-hmm. And you have teammates, and there's different people that you share it with.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think for individual athletes, like in golf and tennis, and especially once you start accumulating, like when you're a guy like Scheffler, and like the first one, I'm sure the Masters, that will always stick out and be different. But once you've won multiple majors and multiple tournaments, and it becomes routine, which is kind of astonishing when you think about it, that it would be routine to win.
Like Djokovic, like how many?
Yeah, exactly.
Like 24 or something?
Yeah. Like, and even now you look at like Sinner won, it was amazing.
But he wasn't like over the top.
Let's go. We're going to U.S. Open.
Right.
Like, and it's almost also like you gotta hit while you can, because it is fleeting. You're not doing it when you're in your 40s and 50s and 60s. It's another the nature of sport. You're not winning a major when you're like 10 years from now. Scottie Scheffler will be certainly out of his prime, but maybe not even contending anymore. So you kind of have to like take advantage of that, and that kind of pressure, like the clock, like Father Time is fighting you too. Like that's got to be, I would think, probably stressful as well, and something else you're kind of contending with. All right, Eric Hosmer coming up in about 15 minutes. Confirm or deny later this afternoon. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Eric Hosmer coming up. He was in the All-Star game back in 2016. He'll join us to tee up the game tonight. That's in about 15 minutes. Confirm or deny coming up later in the hour. Maybe it'll be Strut or Dud. Probably should be Strut or Dud, right, if Strutty's on the show.
Well,
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, we can. Why not? Give it a shot.
Okay, we'll go Strut or Dud. We'll get the oven heat up the oven. We'll get going with the Strut or Dud.
Strutty, I need to know, are you anti-water like Hayes over here?
Not drinking water.
I'm
swimming. Swimming in particular, and natural bodies of water. I'm a pool guy. I love pools. Shower every day. But oceans, no interest. Lakes, not a lot of interest.
What?
Yeah. No.
Oh, no, I love it. We've got a river running through our town, our city, and I will get a paddle board, couple whatever with my buddies, and we'll just ride down, and I'll paddle board down, jump in and out of the river. I love it. I love water. I love water.
Really, the river in Edmonton? I couldn't think of a worse body of water that I would want to be associated with.
Oh, great.
What's the river called, Strud? Gretzky?
The North
Messier
Saskatchewan River.
Oh, the North Saskatchewan. I've heard of that.
Curry Creek.
Okay. Curry Creek. I got you.
Is it like fast moving or is it like a lazy river?
It doesn't move very quickly. Now, obviously, as the year goes on, as the summer goes on, there's less and less water. But I love it. The first time I did it was a few years ago with my kids, and they're like, "This is so great!" And you're not alone. There's a lot of people in there floating down, and there's no flirting turds or like dead bodies. Like it's really quite clean.
Know, man.
And I tell my friends that if you guys ever come out, I'll take you out. Paddleboard. I got a life jacket. We'll cruise down, look at the downtown.
Jonas would be in on
Hayes
that.
would just be happy standing on the shore, just nodding.
Happily. Yeah, I'll wave and take pictures and videos for your Instagram.
I'm a good
swimmer.
I'm a good swimmer.
Listen,
I'll rescue you, Jonas.
It's
not even deep, Jonas. You can
I'm not worried.
Up in the river.
Jonas is a water guy.
I love water.
I'm not a water guy.
Hayes, we learned yesterday,
but I can swim. Like swimming's not an issue for me. But I prefer not to. Like the North Saskatchewan River, no chance. Like I have no visions of ever stepping foot in that. With all
I'm going to get a picture when I do it. I'm sending it to you, and I wish you were here. That's what I write. Wish you were here.
Okay. Do that, please. Tag me in that. Send it. I want to see it. Eric Hosmer coming up. Confirm or deny. Jason Strudwick in here. Jonas Siegel in here. I'm Brian Hayes. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Brian Hayes, Jonas Siegel of The Athletic, and Jason Strudwick. We've got a big hour coming up. Eric Hosmer will join us in a few moments. He was an All-Star back in 2016, World Series winner. Get his take on, what he's looking forward to most tonight. Like, for me, it's Skeens, Judge. That's what I want to see. And I want to see both of them dial it up. Like, that's what's important. And we'll ask Hosmer about that, like how difficult it is to actually
care.
I guess care. Like, as a pitcher, you can't
prepare.
You can't half throw, though. Like, Skeens, that's when you get injuries. So that is why I do think the baseball All-Star game is the best of the bunch, because the pitchers have to throw. You can't just half-ass it.
And you can't, remember Kucherov in the skills competition? You can't really do that at bat, right? You can't say, whatever.
Like, I guess hitters could, but why would you? Why would you want to look so silly? Like, you're going to go in there and try to contribute and try to hit. And I'm sure there's some peer pressure, like your teammates are there, colleagues are there. You want to represent your home club and your home fans. But that's it for me. I want to see Skeens, which is pretty incredible because I don't ever care to see the Pittsburgh Pirates play, right? Yet Skeens in his second year is already starting the All-Star game and is already the man, and it's all about Paul Skeens.
They're going to have the challenge system tonight. Did you not see that?
Yeah, they're doing like the automated strike zone. And
are you ready for this?
Well, it's happening. Like Manfred, I think, was on with McAfee and said the reason why like the umpires union has come around on using this type of technology is the amount of heat they get from the media. Because so many people are scorching these umpires, especially the old school ones, the Angel Hernandez types and guys like that who are just public enemy number one all the time. I guess even umps are like, fine, we realize that you can't win, and with the technology currently available, they're eventually gonna get there. So it kind of feels like baseball, like it's gonna happen pretty quickly.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing how much baseball's already changed. When you consider what Manfred and company have put in with a pitch clock and, pitching change rules and the size of the bases and what they do in extra innings, all that kind of stuff, you get an automated strike zone that could be in place as early as maybe next year. Like, that is so different from even where we were 4 or 5 years ago, let alone 30 or 40 years ago. Yet I think the essence of the sport is still there. It's strikes and balls and hits and home runs, and that's baseball.
I remember reading.
A bit of,
what's that?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jonas.
I was just going to say, like, I read about it, and I think it's like they tested, and it still like has like a measure or a margin for error. So it's actually not going to be perfect.
But it's probably going to be a better percentage than like live umps. I don't know. Listen, I'm fine with umpires.
I'm anti-robots.
I am too. I have been clear on that
Jonas.
forever. Yes, I am pro-human error.
Everything
across the board.
Me too.
I have been a large proponent of that, but I also know when you got to fold them and you lose, and this is just the nature of it, right, Strud? Like, sports are never going to go backwards. They're not going to take technology out of the sport. They're not going to do it.
Replay has made hockey in the NHL better?
No.
I think it's made it worse.
I think it's made it
There's no more clarity.
substantially
We
worse.
don't actually go from goaltender interference and be like, yeah, they got that right. It's like, actually,
offside rules, it sucks. It's the dumbest rule they've ever implemented. It's so stupid.
Yeah, just quickly, I like the humanity in sports. And yeah, there are frustrations when a ball is a strike or strikes a ball, whatever. But that's humanity. And I don't know what Hosmer would think about that. But, like, what's next? Put robot players in there so they don't swing at balls. You know what I mean? Like, I know this, I'm being a little bit, over dramatic here, but I like that in every sport. I like humanity, whether it's players, coaches, and or the
You're
officials.
pro-human.
Totally agree with you, Strud. And also, like, I like interactions with managers and players and umps.
Oh yeah,
I love seeing guys complain. What's the guy going to do? Turn around and start yelling at a robot? Like, what's John Schneider going to do?
You
saw him
have been ejected.
Yeah, like that's. Yeah. Like, but it's just you might as well allow them to yell at the robot. The robots, got no emotions. They don't care. So maybe it'll lead to actually
your base.
You know what's going to happen? Some guy's going to swing at a robot at some point.
Yeah, break.
Although I don't think there's literally going to be a robot behind a plate, but that would be great. Blowouts, bad call, just takes the robot's head right off. All right, here's a guy who was at the All-Star game in 2016. Had a great experience in 16. World Series winner, longtime MLBer, and host of Digging Deep, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Here's Eric Hosmer back on OverDrive. How you doing, Eric?
Doing great, fellas. Hazy's in a good spot. I came just in time.
Yes, I love it, man. It's great to see you, man. So what do you like? How would you react to where this is going? Like, if you were still playing like an automated strike zone, are you a proponent of that? Are you cool with that idea? Where do you stand on the kind of human element of sports and umpiring in particular?
Yeah, it's tough because in 2014, I remember Dayton Moore. He was the Kansas City Royals general manager, and he was the only general manager that voted against replay. And because of that, he said that human interaction, it's going to take so much excitement out of the game. And it really has. I mean, every call now, safe route, it's like bang, bang. Oh, they're going to replay it. So it really takes a lot of that excitement out. The balls and strikes is tough, man, because you look at some of these games and you would hate for a game to be decided by just a terrible strike three call. But then at the same time, I would always say I'd sacrifice a helmet when times were bad. I would have to sacrifice a robot in that time. I would smash in that machine if it got me.
I'd love to see that, man. A robot with a bad call. You just turn and absolutely slug that thing. Yeah, that would be great TV. I will say that. Like, from an entertainment perspective, it would be great. But I also, I'm curious, like hitters, you're going to look at it through that lens, like a bad strike call. What have you heard from pitchers throughout the game in terms of how they feel about it?
I know guys were back and forth on it because my take on it is it's if they do end up going to it, which I'm iffy on it. I don't know if I love it. I think it's going to take a 2 to 3 year adjustment for them to get it right, because think of the curveball. A lot of pitchers are talking about the curveball. They can bounce a curveball in the dirt and clip the bottom of the zone. So if they find a hack in the system like that and they throw a pitch that you just physically can't hit or do anything, I mean, that's going to be terrible if games are decided or outcomes are decided like that.
Yeah, that's coming. Someone's hacking the system too, man, and that's going to be so frustrating because they're going to work the angles and someone's going to figure that out. That's a very good point. And even the idea of the challenge being almost so predictable, right, Eric? Like, you just know it. Like, there's a play at first, play at the plate, whatever it is. You're like, what's the point of getting up and clapping or getting up and booing or whatever? I know that this is going to be delayed another 4 or 5 minutes. Because it's inevitable. They have the option to do it.
It's the worst. There's nothing worse than a big play happen, and you just see the manager, he's telling the umpire, like, hold on 1 second, let me check. Yeah. And then he just goes like this, like, we're not checking. It takes all the excitement out of the game, and especially in the postseason. I mean, we need as much as excitement as we can get, especially with baseball. They've shortened the game now, so let's not take any more excitement out of it.
Big time. Go ahead, Strutt.
Yeah, Hosmer, when you look at the whole situation, like a guy like Greg Maddux, you know more than I, but it felt like when he would pitch, he would find a way to extend that strike zone by the way he'd pitch, and then it was a strike, then move it over a quarter inch, it was still a strike, and still a strike. So I'm guessing batters would be happy with that being out of there. But isn't that part of the art of the game? Trying to work that strike zone to create it bigger or shrink it, I guess, if you're a batter.
Yes, and you're gonna get me sounding real old school. I'm gonna give you one of those back when I played or back in the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
The umpires had a zone, right? And then this guy is usually a little bit lenient on the inner half, and outside he doesn't call it, vice versa, whatever it is, the rookie veteran thing, all that. The umpires have then been gauged on this system that they get about an inch or two off the plate. And it's changed everything. Like, if a catcher was setting up outside and the pitcher misses his spot inside, they would never call that a strike. Now, I think the way the umpires are getting rated, it's getting to them mentally, and they're calling strikes and stuff that they would never have called in the beginning of my career. So I think that's just thrown off the little unspoken rules that kind of, you guys I'm sure had that in hockey. They're going to call certain things they're going to let go. And that stuff with baseball has gone completely out of the window. So I think it's just confused everybody is what it's done.
Well, and also the art of framing a pitch. Like when I was a kid playing, if I'd catch, that was like the one thing like the dad would say, you got to learn to frame a pitch.
Yeah, the robot's not going to be.
Yeah, the robot's like, dude, you think you're fooling me? Like, I know you're trying to frame that pitch, but like, I think instinctively, like guys are still going to do it. Like Kirk just naturally, everyone's still going to naturally do it, I think. But yeah, I mean, that's I guess what's at stake. Like there's been so much change. Right, Eric?
Yes.
I mean, when you consider what Manfred and company have done over the last 3 or 4 years, it's kind of wild that we got a pitch clock, right there, and it's just crazy.
Yeah,
man.
The catching position, they're not going to value defense like they did. That's just going to be a slug position because, like you said, you don't need to steal that strike. There's no incentive for that stuff.
Absolutely. With Eric Hosmer. So we got the All-Star game tonight. I've been saying, all throughout the afternoon, for me, it's Skeens versus Judge, like Skubal versus Ohtani. Like that's the buildup for me. What are you looking forward to tonight? Is there an individual matchup? Is there anything in particular with the All-Star game that you're really looking forward to seeing play out?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Skeens-Judge matchup. I know Skeens got him last year in the All-Star game, and Judge is one of those, like, he's a competitor. Everybody can see it, but I think deep down he takes those little battles to heart, and I think he took that back to his room last year in the All-Star game. So I think he marked this one on the calendar. He knew he's going to be at the top of the lineup. Good chance Skeens is going to be starting for the other side. So that's the matchup I'm waiting to see. I think with baseball, man, the home run derby is the big deal during the All-Star break. And I hate to say this being a baseball guy, but after the second or third inning, the All-Star game kind of loses a little steam. But those innings, those matchups in the first couple innings is what everyone's tuning in to see.
Absolutely. And like the idea that, we all know it's not a real game. Like there used to be something on the line like home field in the World Series or whatever. And obviously, if you're a player on a good team, that may have been meaningful. But I'm curious, like in your experience with the All-Star game and, just discussing with other guys who have been there throughout their careers, like how much kind of time and energy and importance do you place in your individual at-bat? Let's say you get 2 at-bats. Like how would you compare your All-Star at-bat with the regular season at-bat?
Man, you can't really compare it. It's just the All-Star game. You're having a good time. I wouldn't be lying to you, Hazy. You might even have a pregame cocktail or something like that. You're just enjoying your couple days off. And, that's what it is. It's more of you really want to get a hit just to say you got a hit in the All-Star game. And then other than that, you're having a great time. You're there just enjoying the whole experience, I would say. But for them to put anything on the line, I'm glad that they took the home field advantage out because my first All-Star game, man, I'll never forget my only All-Star game. I had a chance to win the MVP, so I had to stick around. But I was so surprised because the 4th or 5th inning, all the starters were on PJs, private planes, out of there. And I'm like, man, where's everybody at? I don't understand what's happening.
No way. So everyone, once they're done, like tonight, Judge, let's say he's got two times through the rotation or whatever, he's going to get 2 at-bats. By the 5th inning, that guy's on his way to New York or whatever. Like, what happens with these players? And do they have to say goodbye? Like, are they going through the dugout and shaking hands and letting the manager know? Or is it basically everyone understands the routine?
Yeah, everybody kind of understands the routine. And it might be different now because they have that extra day. But back when it was only 2 days, it was kind of spring training rules. Spring training, the starters after the 5th inning, they come out. You usually get your work in. You get some extra work on the side fields, and then you're free to go. And I think the All-Star game, it's kind of everybody understands, after this game is over, you only have that 24 hours plus. So get home tonight, do what you got to do, and enjoy that full off day, and then get ready to go for the second half.
Eric, was there anyone you got to meet at the All-Star game where you were like, oh, my God, like starstruck, or is it just all competitors?
Yeah, no, Big Papi, man. It was his last year. We were in San Diego, and we sent him off. And, man, he gave a whole speech in front of the team, and it was so funny, man, because he basically stood up and told everybody, hey, man, listen, you guys are the 1% of the 1%, man. Like when you go back to your organizations, your clubhouses, those guys are going to be watching you, man. They're going to be watching your every move. They're going to be watching how you work. So understand that and do that. And Robinson Cano stood up. Eduardo Nunez, he was with Minnesota Twins, and they're hilarious, man. And Cano stands up and says, Papi, so you're telling me when Nunez goes back to Minnesota, these guys are going to be watching him like they're watching you? No. And everybody just lost it, man. Started laughing. So it was a great memory.
I love it, man. With Eric Hosmer. So who do you like? Big Papi at that point, because it was the Sox too, and Boston, and what he had represented and what he had done. Like, who do you think that is in the game today? Is Judge at that level? Can he be, considering he hasn't won a World Series yet? Who's the guy that would be at the top?
Yeah, right now at the top, it's got to be Ohtani just because he won, right? He's MVP 3 times. I mean, that's a select few group of guys that have won that 3 times. He's pitching. He's really changed the game. He's got baseball surging again to where it should be. But as soon as Judge, if he does win that championship, you have to throw him right up there with Ohtani. I understand he's not pitching, but when you're talking about offense and dominance, just pure dominance of the game, I mean, Aaron Judge, the numbers he's putting up now, the average this year, he got to 350 home runs so fast, and he got a little started. He got started later on in his career, a little older than the normal guy, but what he's doing is nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, man. Like we were talking about it yesterday. Cal Raleigh's had just an all-world incredible season, and yet Judge is right behind him in everything. And I think by the end of the year, he's going to hit more home runs.
He's batting like 360.
Yeah, exactly. Like at one point, we were talking 400 chase like a month and a half ago, and he cooled off for like a week and a half, and that came to an end. But it is incredible how Judge, like when he got to 62 home runs, I thought that's kind of him at his peak. But I think he's probably better today than he was 2 or 3 years ago.
He really was, man. And he's got a unique style of hitting. His style of mechanics has really changed the game. Like everyone's always about hands and all that. And he's just straight firing from the back hip. And the one knock was, oh, well, you can't get to the high fastball. They're just going to keep throwing high fastballs. You can't get to it. And he made that adjustment, it seemed like, one off season. And he just got himself right back up to the top of the game. But the big thumper, man, Cal Raleigh, I'm worried about him, fellas. And I hate to be this guy. I hate to be this guy to say this.
The curse?
But when the curse, I mean, he took so many swings last night in that home run derby. And then on top of it, fellas, he's a catcher. His legs, I mean, if he can maintain this offensive pace that he's on, good for him, man. And I'm already impressed. What he's done is unbelievable, but it is so hard for what he's doing and him to continue to catch the rest of the season and maintain those offensive numbers, man. So I just hope they factor that in, that he's a catcher when this MVP race happens, because to expect him to stay at that offensive level is not realistic.
Yeah, it's such a grind, man, to be behind the plate. Like, and when he's not, he's DHing because he's playing so well and his bat is so hot. Like, he's just not getting any time off, and that is going to be a significant grind. With Eric Hosmer, and in terms of numbers and how quickly you reach them, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. hit his 1,000. He had his 1,000th hit over the weekend, I believe it was. He's only 26, and he said it meant a lot to him. And he wants to pass his dad at some point. I mean, that's probably going to be the significant one, is Vladdy Sr. for him. But he said he's got visions of 3,000. There's not a lot of guys who get to 3,000 hits, but he's only 26. Do you think that's reasonable? Like, he just signed a long-term deal. If he plays another 13, 14 years, do you think Vladdy, is it even possible to dream that big that he could get to 3,000?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the main thing is just going to be health and just keeping him on the field. And obviously, not to take anything away from Vladdy defensively, he's eventually going to go into that DH role. And maybe it ends up being like the next big poppy. This guy's 42 years old, having the best season of his career, whatever it is. But the thing with Vladdy Jr., man, guys like him, he is just a pure hitter. I think the new stats now, the OPS and the stuff that they measure, doesn't do Vladdy Jr. justice, because Vladdy Jr. is a pure hitter. Him, Manny Machado, those are guys that I think of that realistically, Freddie Freeman, have that chance to get 3,000 hits. And when you think of all of those guys, they're pure hitters, man. There's no holes. They're tough at bats. That big playoff situation when there's a guy on third base and less than 2 outs, you can almost count on Vladdy Jr. getting contact and getting that run in. And some of these 850 to 900 OPS guys, I don't know if you can say the same.
Yeah, it's interesting where the game's at. Like, there's so much focus on power naturally, and there's always been an infatuation with that. Like, our whole lives, there's been clearly focus on hitting certain numbers. Forever it was 714. That's what Ruth had. And then obviously Hank Aaron. And then you got Barry Bonds. And now you got these power hitters who are doing just crazy, crazy things, Judge in particular. But I'm curious, like, as a baseball player yourself, what number was more, like, relevant for you? Or what did you put more stock into? Like, the guy that was chasing, like, a batting title? The guy that was chasing the most home runs? Like, power, hits, production? Like, what did you take more pride in, I guess, hitting home runs or maybe going 3 for 4 in a game?
Yeah, I was a guy that was a doubles hitter, man. I was trying to find the gap, and those would lead to homers. But my main thing, being in the middle of the lineup, was trying to drive in runs and RBI situations. And the stuff that would make me lose sleep at night, man, I could be 3 for 4 and there's a guy on third base with less than 2 outs and I don't cash in and drive that run in, that would eat me alive, man. And I just felt like those were the opportunities. Those were the times to cash in. And that's the time where my team needed me the most. And I felt like 100 RBIs was if you were consistent. You were consistent when you had the opportunities with guys on base, because the guys in front of me were having great seasons. Lorenzo Cain, Escobars, the Mike Moustakas, Alex Gordon, those guys. So I always felt that I was going to get the opportunities. And if I had 100, that would make sure like I was doing it.
Absolutely. Well, we got the All-Star game tonight, the Derby last night. You mentioned it. I mean, that's the event. I don't love the way it's currently set up. Like, it's kind of more difficult to follow, I find. Are you going to stick with me and be old school and curmudgeon and we're yelling at the clouds? Like, do you want to go back to the way it was 20 years ago, or where do you stand with the Derby?
Yeah, I do. Somebody had a great idea, first and foremost, of making the Home Run Derby on 4th of July. And I think that's a phenomenal idea. That can be first and foremost. But the thing is everyone says it. You want to see the ball. You want to see 500-foot homers and stop and watch every ball. You don't want this time, and you don't want guys rushing in and out. And the format of it, like, again, you look at Cal Raleigh, man, like the big dumper. This guy is going to be exhausted for tonight, the second half, and you don't want to put the guys at risk like that. And, you know, it's baseball. As far as all-star games, the Four Nations, what you guys just did for hockey, that was unbelievable. I feel like baseball, this is our opportunity. The Home Run Derby is to get baseball where it needs to be and just to have that day, especially 4th of July, whatever it is. So the Home Run Derby, we got to get right, man. And we want to see guys hit them as far as they can and no clock, 10 pitches, whatever it is. So I think there's a good amount of stuff that they should change in the Home Run Derby.
I agree, man. And like, ideally, you got the big boys in it. Like, do you think they would have even wasted their time asking Judge and Ohtani? Do you think they or would it have just been a formality? They have to ask, and they know they're going to say no.
Yeah, you kind of know they're going to say no at this point because they value and they understand how training and taxing that is. So they value their season. Like Judge, he'll never do a Home Run Derby until he wins the World Series because he's going to value the second half run and the playoff run to try and be there for the Yankees. And how can you blame him? That's what he's getting paid to do, is win world championships. So they're just going to have to sweeten the deal somehow, some way, and change the format. Like, imagine if you told Aaron Judge you're going to, you know, hook up one of his best friends with a house or something like that. Yes. I'm sure those guys would be willing to do that. So they're going to have to figure out some kind of sweet deal for those guys.
I like that idea for sure. His friends like that idea a lot. There's no questioning that. He is longtime MLBer, World Series champ, All-Star Eric Hosmer. You can catch the Digging Deep show as well. Always great catching up with you, Eric. We appreciate you doing this, man. Enjoy the game tonight.
Appreciate you, fellas. Let's go, man. Hopefully baseball doesn't disappoint.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. There he is, Eric Hosmer, joining us back on OverDrive here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Drive the built-in Canada fuel-efficient, fun-to-drive Toyota RAV4 gas or hybrid models available. Visit mapletoyota.com. He's awesome to catch up with. And he did win the MVP that year in the All-Star game in 2016. That's fascinating to me, that all the guys just leave. Like, Skeens is going to give you his 2 innings or whatever, and he's like, I'm out of here, man. Like, no one sticks around after the game. That, I don't know why I'm surprised by that, but that to me, it seems very baseball. Like, baseball, they got so few days off. Like, I know the nature of baseball. We've talked to a lot of guys over the years. Like, there's no end of the season locker cleanout. They are gone. Game 162. Right, Strud? Like, you know, in the NHL, it's like locker cleanout, and then you're going to have exit meetings.
They have, like, double the games.
Well, exactly, and that's why I understand the nature of it. But, like, you get to game 162, like, final out, 27th out, you shake hands, and you're like, I'll see you guys at spring training. I am out of here immediately.
It's a long time. But I think, you know, in the NBA, you hear the players wanting to win an MVP at the All-Star game. I've heard guys talk about wanting to do that, especially young guys. I don't feel like I hear that in Major League Baseball. Now, maybe you've heard them talk about it, but I just don't think there's that same. So I think they're more, we're going to do what we need to. We're going to play our 2-3 innings, whatever it is, and then I'm gone. And I kind of get it. You're like, I'm just going to go home. I'm never home, or maybe I get a chance to see my wife or kids really quickly. So, but I don't think that MVP has the same allure for the players, Jonas, as it does for sure in the NBA.
Well, I think because they don't want to stick around. That's why they don't want to win the MVP.
Then they got to do interviews.
Yeah. They want to leave, man, as quickly as they can. But, I guess you're right. I mean, that is a good trivia question. Like, I don't remember who won
any.
Yeah, like who won the MVP in the NHL All-Star game? I don't even remember what team won.
Were there multiple teams?
Yeah, there's the 4 teams, right? Each division is represented. It changes all the time. But like the American League has won 11 of the last 12 All-Star games, I believe. Yeah, the American League has kind of owned it, which means the MVP is coming from the American League, but I don't have a clue.
But it is kind of cool. Like we can say to him, All-Star Game MVP.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
World Series champ.
Yeah, All-Star Game
Game MVP. Yeah. And I like that he admits, he's like, we're absolutely drinking before the game. Like 100%. We're having beers and drinks. And like, think about that. You're going up there. Now, he didn't say he was half cut, but let's say you are half cut and Skeens is throwing 98 inside. Like, wouldn't that be a little bit of a kind of, wouldn't that be a little bit nerve-wracking? Like, if you're up there and you're like, man, I'm seeing 2 balls and this guy is firing these at me. Like, what is happening here? I don't know. There's got to be a limit to how much fun you're willing to have.
Well, I mean, remember the Red Sox in 2000, what year was that? 2004?
When they won their
first. When they took the shots before the game?
Yeah, that didn't come out until after they won the World Series, I believe, right?
That's like an actual game, serious game.
Yeah, you're right. I guess that just, you're not going to be drunk on
like
shot.
Way back in the day, weren't players in the NHL like having a dart between periods?
Yeah.
Like,
cigarettes all the time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, a dart I think is maybe a little different than a shot of whiskey. You know what I mean? Maybe not. I don't. I guess maybe they could be on this. Like, would I rather smoke a dart or have a shot of whiskey before going out trying to stop Ovi?
Which one would you choose?
Whiskey.
Would you choose a whiskey or a cigarette?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I can golf. You know, like I drink while I golf, not a ton, but I get it going. Obviously, to be social. I've never really smoked. I used to like red tipped. What are those things called? Red tipped cigars or something. Those are good, but I think I'd rather have the shot rather than the dart to try to stop an elite player.
Yeah. Well, the dart might mess with your
breathing.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Not too many.
Yeah, I guess. But you're right. Like back in the day, like famous pictures, intermissions, getting dressed, warming up. There's a football picture. I want to say the first Super Bowl or one of the first 2 or 3 Super Bowls. Starting quarterback sitting there smoking like at halftime. Starting quarterback, Super Bowl.
Where's Brian?
Coach
he's just having a smoke.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
He needs 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a half a dart. He's got to finish it off.
And he wouldn't have been alone. The coach was probably right there with him.
Let's have the meeting out here.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just everyone light up and let's have a good time tonight. Let's go out there and regroup for the second half. All right, confirm or deny coming up. Dan Weike will join us of the LA Times on LeBron and the Lakers, the future of LeBron James in LA. LeBron and his future will come up and confirm or deny. Struddy's in here. Jonas is in here. I'm Brian Hayes. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Austin trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
Well, I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, confirm or deny. Here we go. Strut or dud, also an option, right? You can take it whichever way you choose, right? Lots of options here. But statements are made. We either confirm them or we deny them. Very simple stuff. Confirm or deny. The home run derby has fallen off more than the slam dunk competition.
Deny. I watch the slam dunk contest every year, and it's like
it's so bad now.
It's because it's what you said off the top. It's like the people who are in it just aren't relevant.
Like they're YouTube dunkers.
Yeah, it's like you may as well just have YouTube dunkers. It's like N1 mixtape. Like it's like this isn't the
hot sauce. Get hot sauce.
Remember Skip to My Lou?
Absolutely. Yeah. Ray for Alston. Great rap.
At least the home run derby, it's like you kind of know what you're gonna get. Like I watched more than I thought I would last night. And it's just like it's predictable, like it's too long, but
the speed hitting, like Hosmer, I think hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to see rapid fire stuff. You want to see the ball leave the park. Like even the camera angle last night was strange because they flipped to it in right field, then he'd be hitting, and I'm like, is that a replay or is he still just? It was kind of
you're right, and sometimes they weren't even showing.
If
the
it
ball
got out
going out,
yes.
And like remember back in the day with Chris Berman, it was like back. They don't do any of that because there's no time.
Yeah. Now the Boomer took it a little far with the back. After a while, you're like the whole night's back. But yeah, I'm going to deny it as well. I think the slam dunk competition is worse and in a worse state than the home run derby. Where do you stand on that, Strut?
Yeah, I'm going to strut this, a.k.a. confirm it.
Yes, okay.
I believe that the home run derby I think more people could hit a home run than dunk a basketball.
Yes.
And the athleticism shown with these athletes, even though they're not the premier names, is incredible. Now, there's no doubt hitting a ball 515 feet is incredible. And I actually participated in a home run derby one time. I was so bad, I was booed off the home plate. My dad was shaking me off, and it was for charity. It was for charity, and they kicked me out. My own hometown of Edmonton at the Cracker Cats game gave me the boot. So I'm not very good at it, but I could dunk a basketball. So I think it's harder to dunk a basketball than it is to hit a home run. So for that reason, I'm watching the slam dunk competition.
Yeah, and you're right. Like from a physics standpoint.
But not for NBA players, it's not harder.
I don't know.
But same for baseball players. They should all be able to hit home runs.
Like everyone has to be able to hit a home run. If you're in the major leagues,
but
from a batting practice standpoint.
These are the winners of the slam dunk competition in the last few years. McClung, Obi Toppin, good player. Anthony Simons,
no.
Okay. Derek Jones Jr.
No.
Amadou Diallo.
No.
Donovan Mitchell, pretty good.
Yeah.
Glenn Robinson III.
No.
And then Zach LaVine twice.
Yeah, LaVine was great. LaVine Gordon, that's in Toronto.
That was pretty good.
In 2016, I believe. That one was phenomenal. That was like an all-time great dunk contest. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think – go ahead, Strud.
Let's look at it this way. In basketball, you're dunking on a 10-foot hoop. In this home run derby, you have an uncle throwing you a beach ball right down the pipe. So they're making it easier for those players to hit the home runs.
True.
Maybe they should put the basket at 9 feet tall, right? So I think that for me, watching it last night, I have a hard time getting excited. And I'm not a huge fan anymore of the basketball, but I still, of the slam dunk contest, but I'd still watch that over the other one because it's so much easier. Putting it on a tee.
I didn't think about Field of Dreams. You mentioned that off the top. I forgot about that. Dad pitching in the sun.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're.
I just watched that movie recently.
Building off.
It's cool.
Yeah, I think that's what they were building off.
On VCR?
No, like we have these things called streaming services.
Oh, okay.
Had you never seen it before?
No, I watched it when I was a kid, so I wanted to see it again, and it holds up.
Yeah.
Does it resonate? Does it resonate still?
Yeah, like there's some parts of it that were cornier than I remember, like when the voice is like whispering to him.
Even like how old the baseball players are.
Yeah, it's like
kind of crazy.
It's like Ty Cobb is mentioned.
Yeah.
Who's the one?
Well, Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Shoeless Joe Jackson's like the main character. It's Ray Liotta.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like it's.
Have you watched The Natural?
I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Should I watch that?
Oh,
that's Robert Redford.
So you have seen it at least. That's one of my favorite. I love Robert Redford. Love that guy. Absolute stud. And in that movie, he's so good. Wonder Boy, wasn't it? That name was Bat.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. You guys have figured out your plans for tonight. Jonas, watch the All-Star game. Watch The Natural. Confirm or deny. Vladdy Jr. should be expected to double his home run total by the end of the season. He's sitting on 12 home runs, so 24 plus needs to be the bare minimum for Vladdy by the end of the year. Confirm or deny?
Confirm.
Yes.
But even that, like 24 home runs.
I know.
He finishes with 24. It's
but that's why it's like an auto confirm for me. Like, yes, you got less games. They've played, more than 81 games, so you're dealing with a shorter span to get there. But you've got to get hot at some point. You can hit 12 in a month. Like, that happens. Like 12 in a month is probably lofty expectations. I'm not expecting him to do that in August or September. But if he doesn't get to 24 by the end of the year, it's a massive disappointment and underperformance. And we talked about it yesterday, Strud. It's a glass half full. If you're Vladdy, your team has pulled its weight. You're in a position to win. You're healthy. You're in your prime. Go mash. Get on base, hit home runs. You got to double up your home runs.
But like you said, Hayes, like he had a good year last year. He had 30.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not really.
He's not going to be a guy that racks up 40-plus home run seasons. But he may never do that ever again.
But if he has 21 home runs and he's about to start a $500 million contract, it's like
tough look.
Not great.
Yeah. Tough look.
Yeah, I'd confirm it as well. I think he's 25 to 30, 35 home run guy. Like, I think that's kind of the expectations. I don't think he needs to bang out 50, but I think as good of a hitter he is, and he's strong, right? He's a strong, he's strong physical
guy. He's capable of doing it.
It
definitely.
Is. I saw it the other day. He was only at 12, and it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, what?
It's a staggering stat. It's a staggering stat.
If you had to predict right now, both of you, who would you predict will lead the Jays in home runs by the end of the year? Because I think is Springer.
Yeah,
first?
Springer's
he's got like 14.
Right, it's probably Vladdy. I guess I'd put money on Vladdy. Barger, I think, would be in the running.
You'd say Santander, but like he's not.
That's not going to happen.
Back.
That's not going to happen. Varsho, when he was healthy, was actually hitting for some power. He had the chance to do it, but he's not going to do it now.
Yeah, Bichette's not going to do it.
Yeah, it's probably Springer, Barger, Vladdy. I think those are your options right now. So I guess I would go with Guerrero, which is kind of incredible, but he's more than capable of doing it. He's the most capable of doing it. All right, confirm or deny. Patrick Mahomes has more of a stranglehold on the title best player in his sport than Connor McDavid does in his.
I'll take this one first. I'm going to confirm it. I think that when you look at the championships he's put up, and the MVPs, like I think that he is the guy that the other quarterbacks are chasing for both individual and team stats, and for that reason, I believe he's put ahead of Connor.
I'm gonna deny, because like those are great points, Struddy. But you remember last year, he like statistically Mahomes wasn't having the best year, and there was like, Mahomes is Josh Allen the best player in football now? Like that was a conversation that was happening. We don't have that conversation in hockey like ever.
Good point. Yeah.
Like who would you even say like who is definitively the second best player in hockey? Like it kind of seems to rotate.
Could be his teammate. It might be Draisaitl, but you're right. It could be McKinnon. Could be McCarr. Could be Kucherov.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
I think
overstated.
He's run away with it. Like I think it's.
I would still confirm it because I do think titles are important. They're both about the same age. Mahomes is 29. It's not like he's aging out of the conversation. No. And I also think you got to be reasonable. Like McDavid didn't have some all-world year last year either. No. So why didn't we have that conversation? Why is it only Mahomes has to keep up his gaudy statistics, but Connor doesn't?
I think it's like a know it when you see it kind of thing with him.
But Mahomes, for me, still's got it. Like last year, he had the highest completion percentage of his career. His weapons, he doesn't have weapons in Kansas City. His line, like his tackles weren't great last year, and he still won 15 games and got back to a Super Bowl. Like for me, McDavid's got to knock off. Like the reality is they're both moving towards losing the mantle, just based on where they are in their careers.
Think so? I don't think so. I think they got
Mahomes is 29.
3, 4, 5 more years.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they got a few more here.
Maybe more than McDavid.
But still, McDavid's been in the league for 10. He doesn't have 10 more.
No, but like, who's the next young threat that's going to push more? Because you have to remember, McKinnon's getting older. Like all the guys.
I guess what I'm saying is it could be him taking him a step back. It's not about someone chasing him. Like no one in the league is going to match him at his height. No. And I think the same thing should probably apply to Mahomes in the NFL. I guess I could picture Allen having a season that could match his greatness, or Lamar.
Yeah.
But like what I'm saying is we may be 2 or 3 years away from McDavid losing a step and still being great, but not like definitively the best.
But
or
you're
at least
right.
Up
like
for debate.
Last year, the better player was Draisaitl, but we still thought the best player in the league was McDavid.
But don't we apply that to the NFL too? Like last year, Allen had a better regular season than Mahomes, but I don't think he's a better player than Mahomes.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he's greater than Mahomes.
I neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, you're Fergie now? John Ferguson Siegel Jr. Jonas Ferguson Jr.
Pretty good.
Okay. All right. All right. Confirm or deny. The Oilers and the Maple Leafs should be interested in Erik Karlsson if he's available via Pittsburgh.
I've thought about this one.
Yeah.
I wondered if there was like a way that they could get Rust and Karlsson.
You're talking the Leafs in particular here?
Like I'm just thinking of the Leafs. Yeah. Like they need something like that. It's just like his contract. And
he's got 1 year left. You'd presume Pittsburgh would eat half of the cap hit.
Yeah.
I think isn't he making 8.5 or something in Pitt?
Yeah.
San Jose's still eating a little bit.
No, I think it's 10.
Is it 10? Okay, so let's say it's $5 million.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd be willing to do that, but like for argument's sake, Strud, you can be included in this. Erik Karlsson, 1 year left at $5 million. Is that a guy, if you're Edmonton, Cup contention, if you're the Leafs and you're in that
He's a weird
Cup contention?
fit here, but yeah, confirm it.
Yeah. So, because he has 2 years left, though.
2 years left. Okay, 2 years left.
Sorry, because I actually looked at this because someone asked me about this for the Oilers. And, can he be a guy like Seth Jones where he moves to somewhere else and his game elevates? We saw him play pretty well at that Four Nations Cup. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where Pittsburgh's going right now. I don't know if they're.
I think we got a pretty clear answer,
team.
Don't we? Like they're pretty bad, aren't they, Strud?
I know, but I don't want to think about that for Sid. Like I don't want Crosby to go out.
It's happening.
Then get traded. Then say I want out and get traded somewhere.
I know. Okay, let's not get into the Sidney conversation. We all agree he deserves better. But here we are with Erik Karlsson. I'd like to think that for 2 years he can, again with a little bit of salary retention, he can produce at a higher level. And I think that the Leafs could use a guy like that, dynamic player that could really put up some numbers. I don't see Morgan Riley in the same level as far as offensive production. And then who do you pair with? Karlsson, right?
That's what's weird, yeah.
Pairing guy. Because Carlo's the right shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't fit. Tanev's a right shot.
Well, he's probably playing with Ekman Larson.
I was just going to say.
That's like a weird. That's a weird.
I don't know if I love that one either.
Right. But maybe it's McCabe. I don't know. Like you find a way to make it work.
And they need someone to run their power play. Like that's another thing.
Yeah.
Mitch Marner leaves. They don't have.
I'm denying this. Like even though I'm making the case for it, Karlsson to me scares me. Where he is in his career.
I'm with you.
How he performs, how he plays. He's not a big guy. Clearly. 2 years left.
But maybe
who knows how much of the cap they
play
hit.
him 17 minutes. He plays on your power play, and you're not asking that much.
But wouldn't you want to spend that money elsewhere?
Where?
Well, I don't know, but you don't have to just take Karlsson because that's the only option right now.
Fair.
I would deny it.
I don't think he doesn't fit for Edmonton to me.
Well, he'd be Klingberg, wouldn't he? Like he'd be an improved Klingberg, who did play in the playoffs.
You'd have to make the pairings, right? You'd have. Bouchard with Ekholm, and then it would be you have to trade one D-man. It would have been Nurse on the way out, or Kulak, or is it Wallman? I don't know if you're trading
Bouchard and Karlsson on the same defense would be pretty wild.
Yes.
Well, you know what I like about it? I like the fact that those guys can pass the puck and transition it. Like I want speed from my D-men, moving that puck up, getting up in that play, and I like that for that reason. But you can't keep all the D-men and Karlsson. Because if you do that, you're pushing out Ty Emerson or Stetcher, which isn't the end of the world. But money-wise, you have a ton of cash on that back end. So either Nurse, because Ekholm's not going, it's going to be Nurse, Kulak, or Wallman, who you just traded for. So I don't think it'd be him. So then it's Kulak or Nurse.
Okay. Well, Nurse, he's got a no-movement clause. And is he going to waive? And is he going to waive to go to Pittsburgh? Why would he do that?
No. And why would Pittsburgh do that?
Yeah, and also, if you're Pittsburgh, you're clearly just looking for young assets and picks and prospects. So I'm not sure it would work with either team. But Karlsson, if he gets to the trade deadline next year, which I think is more likely of the outcome, like that they would trade him at that point, it's a really compelling player. 35 now, I think. But like he had 100 points 3 years ago.
For a bad team.
Yeah, it's a horrible team. But he's won Norris trophies. Like he's a superstar Hall of Fame player. Yeah. Absolutely. Great hair. Great hair.
Look at in a Leafs jersey.
Yeah, you know what? It'd be an interesting. I would be anti.
It would have all the vibes of like when they got Francis and Lindros and like all these guys
get him late
right at the end. It's like
plus the Ottawa connection would be kind of crazy to see him play in Ottawa as a Maple Leaf. Maybe Ottawa would look. I could see them kicking tires on Karlsson, like bringing him back into the fold. I could see that.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. All right, more confirm and deny still to come. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
That's my way. Do it like that and I repeat. Don't be scared, I ain't afraid. Just like that, come my way.
All right, Dan Weike coming up of The Athletic in about 15 minutes on LeBron and the Lakers and that relationship and where it's going. And I can't wait to see this one play out. It feels like it's going to be a 12-month story of, does he stay in L.A.? Is he happy in L.A.? Do the Lakers want him? If he goes, where's he going to go? What complicates things is how much money he's making in this new CBA, which no one seems to like. Like with the different aprons and the different luxury taxes.
It's a cap.
Yeah, it effectively is. And it's gotten to a point where you just know, like LeBron, what he wants, he's going to want to go to a team that's successful and can win. How can it work? Like, he's not going to go to the Clippers. Dallas can't make it work. Cleveland, it's like it's impossible with what they're spending on certain players. They just can't bring in LeBron.
Yeah.
So where's he going to go? Golden State? And as people have said, if he goes there, it's got to be Jimmy Butler going the other way. Why would the Lakers do that? So I don't know. It just feels kind of strange that LeBron could be in a position based on the nature of the new NBA where he's just stuck and neither party is going to be happy, which should lead to some fireworks. Which is kind of what I'm rooting for.
Tweets and
passive-aggressive tweets.
Comments.
Like, is anyone rooting for LeBron to have, like, a great story, like a kind of an incredible ending to his career?
That's what kind of sucks.
I don't know.
The way, like, his career is, like, in terms of, like, all the teams that he's gone to, he's kind of lost, like, a team. Like, I guess Cleveland would be his team.
Yeah,
but he
it probably
left there
would
twice, and it's like, I don't know. Like, if it just ends like this, it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, for a guy his
it's
stature.
anticlimactic.
That's it. That's what
it,
it
right.
is.
It's anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So you just go out with a whimper a little bit, like you're at the Lakers, and then.
And he's not like a Laker. That's Kobe's towns.
Right. Like, remember Kobe's last game at the Staples Center at the time. Like, it was a massive event you had to watch.
Yeah.
And I think he had 52 points or something that night. He shot everything, but it was incredible to watch. And that's all he knew.
There.
He was there his whole career. Exactly.
And that makes a difference.
Yes,
that truly makes a difference. I think when you stay at one place, that is who you are, right? And for LeBron, doesn't have it. So I would agree with you, Jones. I think it's Cleveland. But does he want to go back there a third time? And even if it can make the money work?
Yeah, that's a good question. Would he want that? Would Cleveland want that? I can't see why they wouldn't. But at the same time, maybe they finally have moved on. Like, he kind of finished the story, right, when he went back and they won in 16.
Well, it's like the Lakers drafted his son, and it's like his son's still there. He's on like a.
That's what makes it complicated. Like Bronny's a Laker still.
That's a mess.
All right, we'll get into this mess into the next hour, and we'll continue with Confirm It, Deny It. Our best bets coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Final hour OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line of the final score. Brian Hayes, Jonas Siegel, Jason Strudwick, confirm or deny a little bit later in the hour. Best bets later in the hour. Dan Weike of The Athletic coming up, Jonas. Covers the Lakers. And we'll get his take on like what's happening here with LeBron. What does he picture happening with LeBron James in his final season? We believe as a Laker. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He had to opt in. So we'll catch up with Dan in just a moment, get his take on that. The All-Star game going on tonight. We get the Open Championship starting on Thursday, which is great. Scotty Scheffler getting very deep today. Just can't find any satisfaction playing golf. Can't do it. It's a pretty wild scene, man. Like, I don't recall a guy of his status, like clear-cut best player in his sport, speaking on a level like that deep. And like most guys are just more reserved. They may think that way. They just have no interest in opening up. But Scotty, he took it to heart, and he made sure everyone knew where he stood. It's kind of cool to see that. I appreciate that kind of candor.
Me too.
Like, big time. Not playing tough, not like just being very matter of fact. I don't know why I want to win, because once I win, it's great for like 2 minutes, and then you move on.
I bet the feeling of losing is just so much deeper than it is winning. I don't know.
That's a good point.
I think that some athlete, or a lot of athletes, the persona they project to the media and the fans is different than who they are. I think Scotty Scheffler, if you met him at a diner, he'd be the same way. He'd talk the same way to you, no matter where he is. And I get when guys have a bit of a different persona, maybe a little edgier. I don't think Scotty's like that. I think he's genuine 100% of the time.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
It's like anti-Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the thing, like when you bring up Tiger, like I don't think Tiger would ever think that way, because Tiger, to me, like Tiger Woods was programmed, yes, about winning himself, but also about killing everyone else.
Yeah.
Like it was an element of like nastiness almost. Like I want to beat you and I want to embarrass you, and I'm not your friend. I'm not going to smile at you. I don't want to be around you. The Mamba mentality. Same thing. Kobe, even with his teammates. Like Michael Jordan gets credit for being incredibly difficult on his teammates because that was leadership. And yet, at the same time, the reason I think he gets that credit is because he was doing it. Like, if he said we're running sprints, he wasn't sitting on the sideline and making B.J. Armstrong.
I mean, MJ wasn't he going to the casino until like 8:30 in the morning
but
and
still,
then just showing up for shoot-around?
But he showed up and did it. Yeah. He always there. He was always, like, by all accounts, man, he's a freak of nature. Like, Jordan's just a different beast.
Yes.
I don't know how you could possibly be wired like that. He'd play golf. He'd be drinking. He'd be at casinos smoking cigars. And he's in the best shape. He's always at practice. He's always on time. He's always ready to play. Like, that's just a different beast.
Yeah.
I played with Brad May, and he played with McGillney in Buffalo. And I think it was the year that he scored, what did McGillney score, 76 goals or whatever?
76.
And he said that they'd go to a nice city, and they have the morning skate, and Almo, that was what Almo would you call him, McGillney would go golfing. He'd play 9 holes, have a couple hot dogs, play 9, like finish his 18, then come and he'd score goals. And the guys are like, maybe we'll go play golf. No. This guy's going to score whatever 60, 70 goals this year. You go back and have a nap. Like, what do you tell a guy that does it? There's nothing you can tell him. You can't, as a coach, say you can't do that because he's delivering what you need from him. So I love that story. Like, can you imagine playing 18 holes, 2 hot dogs, maybe a Diet Coke, get back in the cab, go back, score 2 goals, and fly out to the next city? I couldn't even in a men's league. I couldn't do that.
I have such an appreciation for that. That there still are some throwbacks, not many.
Well, you know who was like that here? It was Kessel.
Yeah, Phil would.
It was unbelievable. It was like practice would end and like bang, he was gone. And it's like he can do that. Nobody else can. Yeah. But you would see other guys like leave soon after. And it's like, probably shouldn't be leaving.
Well, that was the rumor that like him and Bozak would stop going with him to the rink because Phil would be hitting like McDonald's drive-through. And Bozak's like, I can't do this anymore, man. And Phil's like, go ahead, find someone else to drive with.
But he was like just
I'm going.
innately gifted at everything. Like they would say, like he's an amazing golfer. Like,
yeah, he's a stick, man. Apparently, he's a great golfer. Like, just an awesome, awesome golfer.
And it's like you would remember those games, like even in Pittsburgh, where he'd get back to the bench and it's just like, this guy looks like he's huffing and puffing, but then he'd just
go out there,
score
break loose, score 35 in the year. Yeah, there's throwbacks, man. There's still guys that are doing it. I don't think they can promote it the way it used to be promoted, right, Strutty? Like now it would be, because Phil got criticized for that sense of unprofessionalism.
But then you have like LeBron is like the way other end where it's like he's spending millions a year on his body, and look at him, he's 41, I think.
And yet it's working, and it clearly worked for him throughout his career. But you're right, there are still guys out there that just don't, they're not working out that hard. They're still hitting the bars when they hit the road.
It's like those annoying kids when you were, or friends when you were a kid. They didn't study for the tests, and then they just got A's. And you're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, how did you possibly pull that off? Some people just have that natural ability. But you're right. Like LeBron would have the natural ability, but he's not wired that way. Although you see he's trying to get into golf, which that suggests to me he realizes I'm about to retire. Once you become golf guy, you're telling the world I might have a year left. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Here's a guy that's definitely got a better read on the future of LeBron than we do. He's a writer for The Athletic. He's been covering the Lakers and the LA sports scene for a long time. He's been on the show many times. It's always great to see him and have him back on. Here's Dan Weike. How you doing, Dan?
Guys, I felt like that segue was perfect for me about the guy who doesn't take care of himself, who's hitting the bars on the road. I felt very seen.
Absolutely, man. You're not alone.
Especially
believe me.
Especially after a week in Vegas, guys. Oh my gosh. Too much summer league.
What is that scene like? I love that they have it in Vegas. And now it's a staple, and I love how all the players want to be there too, to quote unquote support the young players. But I don't think they'd be doing it if it was in Detroit, right? If it was somewhere else, I'm not sure the other players are showing up.
Yeah, it's a lot. I would say, like being there on the ground, it's a lot of fun. And if you walk around, like particularly like the Wynn Hotel, right, is sort of like one of the unofficial hubs at Summer League, and like you just bounce around. I mean, like I remember one year, a couple years ago, like watching like Coach K play like $20 hands of video poker, like seeing something like that. Like it's that kind of a scene, right, where you just sort of like inevitably bump into somebody interesting and have an interesting conversation way too early in the morning or way too late at night, depending on your perspective. And it's really, really bad for your body and for your sleep and for your rhythms. Like yesterday, I was a mess. Like I saw Austin Reeves and some of the Laker players in the back after the game, and he looked at me and he was just like, he's like, Dan, have you been on a 7-day bender? And I couldn't lie. I just couldn't lie to him. I said, no, yeah, I've been at Summer League for a week. So, yeah, it was rough. It was rough. But I'm home. I'm on the other side of it, guys. Everything's great.
Perfect. Well, year 2 of Bronny James with Summer League. Like, does that still pop? Like, what kind of headlines come from Bronny James in year 2?
Yeah, really different ones. I think, year 1, right? Like it was, he doesn't belong here. He's only here because of his dad. There was like either the people that were there were like way too excited, or the people that were against him were way too negative. Like there was no balance at all in sort of like what this player was or what this player can be. I think in year 2, after it really like was like mostly out of the spotlight in Los Angeles, considering everything else that happened with the Lakers. Like the first month of the season was a big deal, but by the time the fires happened and the trade for Anthony Davis, or the Luka Doncic trade, and the playoff, it kind of really fades to the background in the story of the season. I think, hey guys, guess what? Turns out Bronny James got better. You can watch the clips, 6 of 10 last night, playing at pace, playing with confidence with the ball in his hand. It was fun for me to hear him kind of go at it with like Jeremy Fears and like talk some trash and like find his voice and like, have some confidence. Like, I think it was encouraging, and yeah, people are still excited. People are still, willing to go to extremes on him, but I think you sit with scouts and now it's like the conversations about him have like started to center more on like, is there a world in which this guy can play in the NBA? And the jury's still out, on that for sure. Like nobody feels like fully invested on that. I think in the people that I talk to, but undoubtedly people watch him and it's like he's viable. He's a viable bet, and I think that there's more consensus on sort of like whether or not he belongs to me in this position after a year of improvement than a year prior.
Well, so Dan, year one obviously was a bit awkward, I guess, with his dad, and now it feels like it's just going to get 10 times more awkward. Having some time like to think through all this stuff with LeBron, what do you think his actual motivation is? Like, what do you think? What is the aim here with everything that has been floating around?
I mean, I think he wants the best situation possible, right? If I had to like try to put myself inside his head, and I do think that there's just a level of uncertainty now in kind of where he is at this stage in his career that like, I mean, this is all unprecedented. Never before in league history has there been a player in year 23 this good. Like that's a fact that just hasn't happened. No one knows what to do with it. There's no playbook for it. Never has a player at this stage in his career, never has there been someone who's been the main character the way LeBron James has been the main character. Also found themselves now in a situation where the organization is saying like, hey, by the way, like the next guy's here. Like he's here. We got him. Luka Doncic. Like, and it's not even personal. Like nobody can, I mean, I haven't spoken to anybody around the NBA who thinks that like the pivot to Luka Doncic or a Luka Doncic led Lakers team is a bad idea relative to the situation they're in. LeBron James is going to be 41 years old in December. So it's just, I think it's uncomfortable a little bit. And I think LeBron has wanted, wants to be in a competitive situation, wants the Lakers to be making moves that get them better in the short term. The Lakers are trying to take both a short-term and long-term approach, and there's a little push-pull there.
So who has to make that move? Is it LeBron who's going to be vocal internally, tell him to continue to make those moves? Or is the Lakers say, hey, we know you're not going to be here, very much longer, maybe a year, whatever it is. Like who has to take that first step? Or does Lakers have to show some, shake their pills a little bit and say, hey, we're going forward with this group?
I mean, I think that it's one of those things that I think other people want them to say it, but it's just sort of unsaid. Like he's under contract, right? Like he opted into his contract. There have not been any credible trade discussions. There haven't been any other, like he's on the Lakers, right? He was there for 2 games. He's interacting with people like that. That's the read on it. When I speak to people, like that's just sort of where it's at now. Would it be easier if there was some sort of summit or something like that where they were to kind of all sign off on the future of the organization? Yeah, but I generally think, guys, that it's just a situation right now where this is a road that LeBron has walked before, and when it comes to off seasons and trade deadlines and stuff like that, like asserting a little pressure on the teams that he's with. There's sometimes a lot of pressure to improve. I will say, like, I think the Lakers, despite maybe not winning headlines this summer, I think they're better on paper in a couple different ways. And I think LeBron knows that. So, I mean, I'm not currently expecting some, great sort of show of like I don't think he's going to like do like a Superman meme or something like that and have like the Lakers jersey on and post on Instagram tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that it's just way more likely that we see him on media day in Los Angeles. Like that just seems like the path this is going down.
With Dan Weike of The Athletic. So if I were to give you these 2 options, LeBron James will play the final game of his career in a Laker uniform or the field. Who are you taking?
Oh, that's such a good question, and I hate you for asking it. I think that's a tough one. I think I would take the Lakers. I think beyond this year, it's hard to know. It's just hard to know. I believe being around LeBron James since he's been in Los Angeles, I think he has surprised himself at how good he is able how good he's been this long, right? And I do sort of think it reminds me a little bit of like the Seinfeld episode where Kramer's in the car and they're going to take it all the way down to E. And they just want to just see like how fast the needle can go past the E, and like no one really knows where it's going to stop. There is an element to this, right? Like when I've talked to LeBron or when I've heard LeBron talk about retirement, it's basically been like when I'm not able, physically and mentally to play the game at the level that I want to play it at. Well, like this dude was just all NBA second team a year ago. You know what I mean? Like for a month and a half, 2 months in the middle of the season, playing some of the best defensive basketball of his life. The Lakers had the number one defense for like a real stretch of this season. And they did a lot of it with Anthony Davis not on the team. They did some of it with Luka Doncic on the team. And it was because of LeBron. Now, his body maybe didn't respond to that. And that's why he had the groin injury late in the season. That's maybe, related to why the knee injury happened. That was more fluky, but like it could all be, based on sort of load over time and things like that. It's just hard to know how much longer he can go and how much longer he wants to go. And if he wanted to play 3 more years, like I don't doubt that he could do it. Do I think that there are 3 more max contracts waiting for him in Los Angeles? I don't know. And I think that is very much to be determined based on fit with Luka Doncic. Like I said, that is the direction the organization is going. It is going in a Luka Doncic direction. And if LeBron James next to Luka Doncic proves to make the most sense, then I think and he wants to keep playing and he wants to be in Los Angeles, then I think that's the road that they would go down. Great question, though. I wish I had a better answer.
Yeah, no, it's a great one. And I mean, I think you could look at it like the last game of this season and then the last game of his career. Like there's multiple layers to it in terms of trying to predict what's going to happen with LeBron. And I'm curious, in terms of his Laker legacy, like the Lakers are one of those, handful of teams in American sports that have such a rich history of winning and superstardom. And, when I think of them, I think Kobe, I think Magic, I think Kareem, and that's from afar. I'm in Toronto. I'm not from LA. I don't have any association with the city or the history of the fan base. So I'm curious, has LeBron cemented his legacy as a Laker, or can he still move up? And if so, like, where is he on the list of tiers in terms of like revered and great Lakers from a Lakers perspective, not like an objective NBA perspective?
Sure. It's really interesting. I mean, I think like, the names you mentioned, like particularly Magic and Kobe, right? Like they were only Lakers and very much like were of the city. I mean, we saw the way Los Angeles responded to the tragedies that surrounded both of them, both Magic Johnson's retirement and Kobe Bryant's, unfortunate and untimely death. I think, when it comes to LeBron and sort of his place with the Lakers, what's really interesting about it was that still the majority of his career, he was a villain in LA because like he was the guy going up against Kobe Bryant in the Lakers. I will throw a stat at you. Provided he plays with the Lakers this season, he'll have played there 8 straight years, which is the longest single stretch he's been with an organization.
Wow.
In his career.
That's nuts.
He was 7 with Cleveland the first time around, I believe. So it's been a while here in Los Angeles, and he's played a lot of basketball for the Lakers. Like, now time is crazy. Like everything after 2020 just feels like, I don't know, simultaneously both 100 years ago and yesterday. And I think, him winning his title in a way like he wasn't able to like stand in the middle of the Coliseum like Kobe Bryant and hold up the trophy and have, the adoration of the city poured onto him. He didn't get that moment because the championship came in the bubble. I think impacts maybe some of this stuff a little bit. My hunch is that it'll just be the kind of thing that, 10 like most legacy conversations, like 10, 15 years from now, I think we'll think very fondly of his time as a Laker. I think right now as we're in it, it's much easier to look at, the way Kobe and Magic and some of the lifelong Lakers and the ties they had with the fan base. Like there is a thing. I love this story about kind of LeBron James, and I always try to remember it, guys. I was covering the Chargers briefly here in Los Angeles, and Derwin James had just been drafted, and he was in his press conference in the back, kind of doing like the fake like basketball thing where he's like shooting an imaginary basketball. And I was trying to ingratiate with myself to him, and I told him I had covered the NBA, and I asked him who his favorite team was. And he said, "Oh, my favorite team is LeBron James." And I think like that is a thing that exists in a real way. And so there are like kind of like two roads running with him in a way where I think more so with Kobe and certainly with Magic, like it was Laker fans, right? And this is some sort of combination of the two.
How long before you think it becomes Luka's town? Is that next year, 2 years?
That's a great question too. I think we're in store for a big Luka Doncic season, right? And there are things at play here that in LA, I think we're still sort of learning. We saw the way from afar, the way that Dallas and Luka Doncic sort of went together, and the feelings and the emotions that poured out with him leaving. We've seen elements of it in LA as he started to, like, he made a really big donation to fire recovery efforts. He paid for a Kobe Bryant mural to be restored. I think a really huge understated thing in here is he speaks very fluent Spanish in Los Angeles, which, should be really exciting for the Lakers to have a very large Spanish speaking fan base to connect in that way. And like, I don't know, he's a magician too, right? And a city that like fell in love with Magic Johnson, like they're like, he throws passes and stuff that way. And apparently now like any like good LA person is like trimmed down really fast for like a big role. Like, so like there is like, he's gotten like movie star shape. So I think this is a really big year. And I think obviously though, the way to win over Los Angeles more than any other is winning. And I'm not totally sure how close the Lakers are to a championship right now. That'll be the final step. But I think, provided he signs his extension to some degree here later in the summer, that like, the seeds have been planted for a really strong relationship between a charismatic on-court star and a city that loves those types of players.
Yeah, the Lakers are always going to be in the middle of everything, man. Even up here, we're talking about it mid-July. But with Luka there, LeBron with possibly 1 year left, Bronny possibly making an impact on the team this season, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty captivating one for you and everyone that covers the team. He is Dan Weike of The Athletic. Always appreciate you finding time for us, especially coming off Vegas. Thank you for doing that, Dan.
Guys, this was sobering for me. I appreciate it. I feel like I've had to turn my brain back on. I feel like I've recalibrated a little bit. I appreciate the opportunity to do so.
Absolutely. Great seeing you. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
There he is. Dan Weike of The Athletic.
Do you know one thing I hate about Vegas? I don't know if this is every hotel room, but the last time I was there, the hotel room didn't have coffee in it. And, when you go east to west and you just get up really, really early, and like, I don't know about you guys, like I need coffee like right away. And so I had to go down to like...
down to the Starbucks.
To the It hadn't opened yet. I was there before it opened, and I was just waiting for it to open, and like a line suddenly formed. I was waiting there like 20 minutes for it to open. And it's like,
that is outrageous. Like in Vegas, of all places, you better have espresso available,
right, in
the room.
Yeah.
And then you pay $8 for your coffee.
Well, the coffee's down there. They can be more than that. It was $12 last time. I haven't been in Vegas in 6-7 years. It was like $12 for a pike roast.
Yes.
Paul. You don't have to
crazy.
What?
Well, you don't have to buy an extra large. I mean, you can get a medium or a small, right?
Like you do in Vegas. You
still
do
get
in
a
Vegas,
buzz.
Strud.
But 7 days in Vegas, I could not imagine. I did, I think 4, maybe 5 days, and I remember it was like Napoleon's army marching out of Russia to get to that airport. I was I got on the plane. I think I was just Noodles. I was sweating so much through my shirt. And Lay's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not okay. I was in Vegas for too long. Like, it's just outrageous. It's amazing. I know he was probably working, but jeez,
it's too much. And you know you're in bad shape when someone in Vegas is asking if you're okay.
Yeah.
Like if they're looking at you like, whoa, dude, are you okay? Like think about what people at the airport in Vegas have seen.
Yes.
How is that not a reality show? Just hanging around Vegas. Like Departures in Vegas. That's the name of the show. Departures in Vegas. Get it on A&E or something. Get it on Crave.
I love that.
And just literally watch animals walk through there. And I probably would have started it last time I was there. It's same thing, Strud. You walk, you have glasses on, you're just a disaster. No. You're dying to get home. And there's no short flights.
No.
Everyone leaving Vegas is flying for at least an hour or two, minimum.
Do you gamble at the gate?
I didn't because I'm like, I just have to cut bait and stop. It's like being at It's like being at an embassy. I need to treat it as if I'm back in Toronto. When I get into that airport, it's Pearson. I can't be in Vegas anymore. You get dropped off and it's done.
Yeah.
For me, I get off the strip. You can't be in Vegas anymore.
But the high point of your year is getting on that flight to Vegas and the energy and everyone's drinking.
The best.
And the low point of my year is getting on that flight and flying home. You're tired. You got stuff to do and you get home. And You're sweating. In my case, it's awful.
It's so true.
It's awful.
It could not be a more polar experience.
It's awful.
Than flying in. It doesn't matter what time. Drinks are flowing.
100%.
People are in different seats. Everyone's having a great time. And the flight home is just turn the lights off and don't bother me, please. No.
Let's forget what happened. I don't remember half the stuff what happened.
Yep.
It is such a disaster.
It's
that
crazy.
Flight home.
It is crazy. All right, we'll continue with some confirm or deny, including one on LeBron. We'll get to our best bets still to come. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Put some miles on it. Back of the Chevy with the engine running. Just you and me in a truck.
All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel a little bit later in the hour on the All-Star game tonight. And we got some more confirm or denies left in the tank that we'll get to here momentarily. Is there a big hockey confirm or deny that you can throw out on the fly, Jonas? Mid-July, is there anything hockey related? Because it just seems incredibly quiet. And we're waiting for McDavid to sign an extension at some point, possibly a trade. But no one really knows who that's going to be, what it's going to look like, if it's actually going to happen. There's work, and then all of a sudden the league just shuts down, and it feels like it's done.
Yeah.
Now tomorrow we're going to get the schedule released. Which, Struddy, I'm sure you're aware of this. Mitch Marner's return to Toronto. A lot of people are wondering when that's going to be. That'll be a big topic tomorrow. It's a big one, Strud.
It is. Well, I guess how's he going to be received? This is my thought from a distance. I think he was drafted by the team. He's from there. I think he was a good Leaf, really good Leaf. One of the top ones, in his time there. And then he chose to leave. So I think it's hurt feelings. I think there'll be hurt feelings that he chose to leave. So did the fans acknowledge what he did as far as a player, or acknowledge it more that he left and give him the boo? I don't know which way Toronto goes. They seem very forgiving people there in Toronto, but what do you think, boys?
Yeah, it's the latter. I mean, I think people are going to, which is kind of fascinating because you're right, Strud. A lot of people wanted him out and yet are mad that he's out because he chose to leave.
100%.
Right? Like a very kind of dark and vindictive attitude. Like they wanted some Leaf fans wanted the Leafs to go to him and say, "You're out, you're done, you're leaving," and him beg to stay. But instead, both parties were like, let's just wash our hands of this. And Leaf fans, aren't happy with it. But it's deeper than that. I mean, it's 9 years. It's the playoffs. It's him not waiving for the Rantanen deal, which he's totally entitled to. But that's a part of the conversation, which would be kind of wild. Like in this other universe where Mikko Rantanen is a Maple Leaf going into next season.
They're a better team, obviously.
With him individually. Well, we were talking about that yesterday, Strud. Like, obviously on paper, without Marner, the Leafs are a worse team. But how substantially worse, in your opinion? How much, and is it guaranteed they're actually going to be a worse team when they play and they perform?
Yeah, I know it's and everyone always says it, but when you lose the best player in what was a trade, right? And I know they added a couple other pieces, but they a really talented player. Now, I think he was trending in the right direction, continuing to work on his game. But I don't think they got full value back for me if you include the trade with Utah. So I don't know. I guess I'll ask you guys this: do you think their bottom six is way better than it was last year?
No, not right now. I mean, what if they really
Nicholas Waugh is a better third line center than Max Domi?
Well, and this time last year, Ryan Reeves was probably on the fourth line, and Waugh wasn't here. So even if you just flip those two out, and Scott Laughton's here, wasn't here last year.
Yeah, and he had a tough time.
It's it's marginally better, if at all. Like they still don't have any scoring. Like he can score a bit, but they still don't have a lot of scoring throughout the lineup, and they're losing 100.
Well, they have scoring throughout the lineup.
Who?
Austin Matthews and William Nylander are two of the five best goal scorers in the league.
Set the three guys aside. Four guys.
Pretty substantial, those guys.
Set the four guys aside.
Yeah.
They didn't have secondary scoring for good chunks last year. And then obviously in the playoffs, they did not have that either at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did in the first round. Domi scored, Benoit
of their
scored.
bottom six forwards, 5 didn't score at all in the playoffs. At all. So now that team is losing Marner. They're worse. Like I know what you're saying.
No, I understand they're worse on paper. Yes, of course they're worse on paper. But I think the way you just described that is a little bit misleading. Past Matthews and obviously Willie and Tavares. It's like, okay, well, those guys are still on the team.
But you're taking a team that decided last year we're going to score a little bit less to try to be better defensively. They did score less. I think they were tied for 7th or 8th. And now they're losing a 102-point player, whatever he is, 25 to 30 goals every year. They're losing him, and they're losing his defense. Like I think that's the thing that's going to get lost he's a really good defensive player, one of the best defensive players in the league. How does that affect them defensively?
It's gonna hit.
Are they gonna be 108 points or whatever they had last year? I don't think so. I would take the under.
I guess I'd say this, Hayes, is that you lost those points from Marner, and then is Tavares going to bang in 40 goals again?
Yes, that's another good question. No. But to Hayes' point yesterday, Matthews I would bet bounces back.
He's healthy.
A fair point.
He's the best goal scorer in the league again. Then
right.
Yeah, and then Tavares, obviously, the reduced cap hit. I think that's significant for him. So I don't think this is the finished product of what we're seeing here. I understand what they're trying to do, and I think that I would have liked to have seen this done earlier and traded Marner for something, 2 years ago, or if that's what you chose to do.
Absolutely.
To get a player. And that's not against Nick Waugh. I like him as a player. I do.
No, but it's like a superstar for like a bottom.
Well, and it's a misleading. Yeah. It's not really a trade.
Not really a trade.
Like it was a sign and trade where.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's what you got back for a player that is way above where Nick Waugh is as a player. But I mean, it's unfortunate for him. I don't think people will judge him for that, but that's how it works. So I guess my point is, if the top end isn't as good, and if your bottom we're not convinced they're better, that the bottom six is better, are they actually that much improved? Well, I think we'll still see as time goes by what happens, and they can fit everything together. And maybe like Scotty Lawton's better than he showed for sure. For sure, he's better than having someone like Nick Waugh, who I'm sure that the coach is going to love in that lineup. I think that'll help beef up that third line as well. And just so if Lawton and Nick Waugh can become solid third and fourth centers, okay, now you're maybe going somewhere here.
Yeah, and I think that again on July 15th or whatever it is on paper, compared to last July 15th, if you add Brandon Carlo, Lawton, Waugh. I don't know enough about Michelli. Like, I can't sit here and pretend as if I think he's a lock to be a 50 or 60-point guy. But, again, I think now if Marner was on that, it would be exponentially better because he would be a part of it. But I'm not convinced even on paper, like in terms of depth, they're much worse or different than they were last year. I think their issues are still the same as they were, and they've gotten worse. Right? Like,
well, we talked all about center ice.
Point.
Like, they need a second line center. They didn't get a set. Like, they're just running it back because they couldn't figure out a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Better third line center, but a guy who was also a fourth line center in Vegas. So now he's going to be asked to do a bit more. Maybe not a lot more. He played pretty good minutes.
And I still think there's a chance he plays the wing at times for this team.
Who's playing center?
Well, they still have Lawton. They still have Kampf at this point. Domi, where is Domi playing? I don't know.
Okay. But they talked at the end of last season, they need more puck-moving ability on their defense. They haven't gotten it. That's why it's hard. Like, it's July 15th. I don't want to cast judgment on their offseason, but so far it's just kind of
Sure. Yeah, but like, I guess where I'm coming from is, like, where is your starting line? Like, I sense, and you're not alone in this, Jonas, that it's like you're starting as if they were an 85-point team. They weren't.
No,
like
but
they won their division.
But they were 115 points, and then they were 111 points, and then they
won their division last year.
Yeah, but
they've never done that.
But the team behind them got better, or the same, or whatever you want to say.
Right.
They got worse. I think Tampa, like, don't forget about Tampa.
Has Tampa had some great offseason? What have they done?
They've like the same team, basically.
Okay.
But they didn't lose anyone. They didn't lose Kucherov.
Okay, well,
this is basically they lost their Kucherov.
No, Mitch Marner's not Nikita Kucherov.
Right.
I mean, come on, Jonas.
Okay, he's better than Gensel? Is he Braden? Whatever.
Yeah, he's better than Gensel.
The point is, like, they lost
Gensel.
They lost a superstar and have not meaningfully replaced him. Like,
sure.
And they haven't really gotten better in places where we talked about they need to get better. Like, who's scoring more? Like, Matthews, you can say for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Like, maybe Michelli.
Well, obviously
scores.
Michelli's a guy that they're planning on.
Maybe.
I mean, does Easton Cowan make the team? We don't have the answers on that, but is it possible that he steps in as a soon-to-be 20-year-old and makes an impact on the team? Possibly.
They were in a tough spot, but they also created a tough spot for themselves.
Yes, and we've reiterated all that kind of stuff. I get it. I'm not arguing that on paper they're better. What I'm saying is, they've been a very good team for a long time.
One of the best teams in the league.
Taking one player off a really good team is never going to collapse the franchise. And if the tone is, well, they're so much worse and they haven't done this and they haven't done that, I think, yes, that's a viewpoint you can have, but I don't think you're giving enough credit to the other stable pieces that they still have in place. Like, they have their 2 goalies. They have their 6 defensemen.
Fair.
Matthews is still here. Willie's still here. Nyes is here. Tavares is here. Like, they're not – Marner leaves, and now they're 72 points because of Marner.
No,
but you're intimating, like, that's a possibility, that they're really not.
I'm not.
I'm telling you,
I'm
that's
intimating
your
that
viewpoint.
instead of 108 points, they might be more like a 100-point team. And, like, so maybe they're not winning the division. Maybe they're second or third, which they've been before.
Yeah.
But they are like – I'm not intimating.
And again, in the playoffs,
70-point, 80-point, 90-point team, but are they a 105-point team?
But how often does outside, Florida is the exception of the rule because they actually are just a complete team that's just ready and they're as good as you can be. So they've set a bar that's just unreasonable for anybody else. But how many other elite teams have great off seasons? I'm sure you could argue Vegas. Vegas would probably put their hands up because they brought Marner in. They're probably saying, "Hey, we're a really good team."
Yeah.
But speak to Edmonton, Strud. Has Edmonton had some great off season?
They didn't get a goalie, right?
Exactly.
No.
It's
but
just
I'll challenge you.
Go ahead.
Let me challenge you on Vegas. You bring in Marner, you lose Pietrangelo. Is that
very
really
good point?
Season?
Great point.
And as a D-man, I'm I think that one of the strengths of their team when they were winning was their decor. And now Pietrangelo, who was arguably their anchor or their best player, and Jonas, you could maybe speak to that. I don't know how. Yeah, Marner's a great player. I'd rather have Pietrangelo
all day in the playoffs for sure.
And so did they get better? Yeah, they have more weapons maybe to play with Eichel. I get that. I don't know, Jonas. What do you see back there? That's the trade I wouldn't make if I was.
Now they can't control that because Pietrangelo got hurt.
Thing, right?
And
they also traded for Hanifin. Was that 2 years ago? So they added on their defense. I don't know.
But when they won the cup, Petro was their number 1 defenseman.
Sure, but they also have Theodore. They have a good defense. See,
it's interesting though that you'll bet you can with Vegas. It's no, it's all good. Who cares about Pietrangelo? But with the Leafs,
last I checked, Vegas has been to 2 finals and won one in 6 years.
But you're moving the goalposts though.
Okay.
The point he's making is a valid one. Shouldn't they be panicking? If you're panicking Toronto because Marner's not here, how are you supposed to? Why wouldn't you react the same way if you're Vegas with Pietrangelo?
Because but you're saying so they lose Pietrangelo, but they add Marner. That's a pretty close saw-off in different positions, right?
But
you're telling me I'm saying
position.
They lost Marner and they added Waugh and Michelli. Sorry, but that's a drop-off.
Yes.
And a pretty meaningful drop-off. I know what you're saying. It's just one player, but it's it's a very important player, right?
It is an important player.
I feel like you're underselling Marner's importance.
I'm not underselling the importance of Marner. I get what he represents during the regular season.
Yes.
For sure.
Fair.
And I think that's also something to point out. During the regular season, I might take Marner over Pietrangelo. But in the playoffs, I'm not. And that's not just a Marner thing. And that's not even about Marner's
But it's
playoff performances. It's that number 1 defenseman's value is so crazy.
The issues that they had in the playoffs, tell me how they've fixed them. They're marginally better at center in the third line. The same at now their second line center is going to be going to his 35-year-old season. We'll see what happens.
I'm not sure I don't know if they have, Jonas. I don't think they have necessarily. Now, if Marner was a guy that was supposed to step up and never did, I don't know if they've hurt their chances. Are they worse in playoffs?
Yeah, but he's still as much as the offense disappeared in the playoffs, he still was very good at defensively in all those.
Was
series.
he in game 5 and game 7? He was Bob Gainey.
But for the first half of that series, it's not like the Barkov line was that was a kind of a saw off.
Okay. I guess that's the way to put it. And it's hyper focused in a team sport. It's difficult to do this for a team sport and especially in one game. Mm-hmm. But do you think in a Game 7 versus Florida tonight, they're actually much worse than they were
great question.
On June 30th when Marner was still a Leaf?
Yeah, because you're suddenly you're playing who's playing with Matthews.
But does it matter the way Marner plays in those moments?
It does, because even Marner, if he's not contributing in a superstar way offensively, is still very good offensively compared to Matthias Michelli at his absolute peak.
He has not been
let
in
alone
those games, though, Jonas.
Fair.
He just hasn't been. And furthermore, he's not physical. He shies away.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've seen it. I know what you're saying. It's fair.
So I think the answer is they're not worse in that big moment.
Mitch Marner at 75% of what he is still significantly better than any of the other guys they have at 100%.
In playing video games and regular season games, you're right. Not in a Game 7. It's not a talent game in Game 7.
Okay. So who's better that they have in Game 7?
Well, at this point, I'm willing to bet on somebody else
because
being better.
All the players that you're talking about, it's the same players, like otherwise, right?
And that's the question. And I don't have an answer for it. I can't guarantee you that Nicholas Waugh will have a bigger impact in Game 7. I don't know if he will, or Michelli will.
Yeah.
But I've got a good idea of what Mitch Marner was going to be in a Game 7.
Okay, and what about some of the other guys on the team? It wasn't just about Mitch Marner.
100% valid. 100% valid. And I've been very critical of Matthews and Nylander
and Tavares
in the big moments. 100%. But something had to change.
100. Oh, it was,
and that's why
no question. But
it's worth the endeavor of seeing if it's going to be different, I guess, is my point.
Yes, but the problem is you need to have I just wonder what was the plan to move on, because right now it is very incomplete. It's you lose Marner and what's you have this cap space. So what are you doing with it? And it's maybe they'll make a trade. I don't know what that trade looks like. Where does it take from?
And I don't have that answer
if you're
for
trading Brandon Carlo to get a forward and it's suddenly your defense is worse.
Well, that's an interesting question for you, Strud. Would you, considering the possibility, the legit possibility that their offense is going to struggle more moving forward, would you take from a potential strength, which is you got 6 veteran defensemen under contract? Would you commit to that even more? Would you go all in on goaltending and defense and kind of mold your team a little bit differently?
I would like to, and I'm not sure which one of you brought it up, but I would, and now if you know, tell me. I'd like to see a better puck move defenseman back there. And so we'll go all the way back to where we started with Erik Karlsson, because moving the puck quick, getting out of their zone is so important. And I know I'm very traditionalist, but I like a bit of more of a stay-home guy besides someone that moves the puck. Stay-home guy, but and stay-at-home has changed. That role has changed a bit. But who's feeding the puck up to these guys? Who's getting it up there? So look at Florida. There's a D-men that can all move that puck. They could transition. Yeah, they have some heavy guys, but Seth Jones isn't too bad. Ekblad, obviously. I forget on the top, the guy who plays with Ekblad all of a sudden.
Forsling.
Well, Forsling.
Yeah, Gustav Forsling. Thank you. You've got to move that puck up. And when the Oilers all of a sudden, when their playoffs started going, when Klingberg came back in, and he was moving the puck beside guys like Bouchard, beside others that can really move that puck and get it going. That's how people think you get speed through neutral zone with your forwards. You do, but the D-men have to get it to them,
right?
And they have to get out of their zone with speed. And so I always use the word you turbocharge your offense when the D-men are transitioning that puck quickly up the ice. And I think the D-men don't get enough credit. Well, we don't get enough credit for anything, but in that moment, if you're not getting it up to those forwards guys, it doesn't matter. So you're right. All those D-men are capable, solid defensemen. Tell me the one that's explosive and moving that puck up. Who's the best passer?
Riley.
I guess Riley.
Morgan Riley.
Tanev's pretty crafty at it too. But
yeah, and Ekman Larson is pretty good at it, but he also plays his offside and
you're right.
Yeah.
And that's my concern for that group. And I said it last year, I believe, on this show. I like that D. I like them, but there's a piece or two missing in there.
Yep. So there you go. They're an incomplete.
I think the headline on TSN.ca should be Hayes, Leafs are better off without Marner.
Better off without Mitch.
Don't need him.
Hey, I'm willing. In all honesty, I'm willing. I want to see them try something different. 100%. And now it's happening.
Yeah, it's
in the best interest of both parties.
Yes, that's the thing. It was time.
One of them had to go. To put it clearly and as sucinctly as possible. You just would
like to be at this point now, but it doesn't matter. It's July 15, where you could be wow, they took that and now they're here.
And once they got to the end of the road, it was very clear that wasn't going to happen.
No, I just mean
they lost the power to do
in their off-season maneuvering.
Totally. And I think they tried. They wanted to get in on guys. I think they were in on Ehlers. I think they were going to get in on Sam Bennett. They were going to get in on guys. Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
They didn't get a chance to do it.
Yeah, if they had gotten Marchand, even if the contract was insane, at least you could be
different.
well.
It'd be very, very different. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. Today's best bets are powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. I'm getting plus money on the American League. I'm taking it. They win every single year.
They win every year.
Every year they win. Like, what is it, 11 of the last 12?
Yeah.
Plus 110. I'm on the American League tonight.
Tapping.
All day. Tapping. Bunt. Drag bunt.
Nice.
Drag bunt. Today's best bets powered by FanDuel. The first inning means as much as the ninth when you bet baseball on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 18 plus. Physically located in Ontario. All right, I think we accomplished a lot today.
Yeah.
I like where we're at.
Solve the All-Star game.
Yeah, we got that figured out.
Yeah.
Right, we know what's going on with LeBron.
Yeah, fix the Leafs.
I think we fixed the Leafs. We got Carlson going to the Oilers. That makes too much sense, right? Courtesy of you, Strut. I think you said that.
Yeah. No, I did not say that. I did not. Do not quote me on that.
Okay, maybe that wasn't you. Someone said that.
Yeah,
exactly. Someone said that, I'm sure, at some point. But
people
anyway,
are saying.
Yeah, people are saying. People are saying. So great seeing you guys. Thanks for doing this, as always. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and, of course, up on YouTube Live. Every hour of every show up on YouTube on TSN's YouTube page. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll chat then.
This is Minecraft. I'm so sorry.
Coming up, prepare to be blown away by some unreal athleticism.
Holy jumping, you have got to be kidding me.
Goals scored in the most impressive of ways.
That is astonishing. Just so wonderfully dexterous and delightful and decisive.
Unmatched skills on full display.
A standing ovation for one of the prettiest goals you'd ever want to see.
And scoring prowess of the highest quality.
Oh my goodness, Michael Granlund.
The top